It was 10 o'clock in the evening and raining heavily when the phone of the convenience store suddenly rang. Austin Jacobs quickly answered the phone. "Good evening. How can I assist you?" "Deliver me a pack of napkins and a box of condoms to room 223 at the Grandview Inn. Make it fast." The caller hung up. Austin quickly gathered and packed the items, grabbed an umbrella, and started walking toward the Grandview Inn. The Grandview Inn is located just by the side of the river within walking distance from the convenience store. However, despite the heavy rain, his clothes were soon soaked. After a few minutes of walking, he arrived at the Grandview Inn and hurried toward the room. As Austin arrived at room 223, he wasted no time in knocking on the door, fearing any delay might anger the costumer. To his surprise, the door swung open after just a few seconds. "Hello, here's your..." He was taken aback. The woman in front of him was none other than his girlfriend Olivia. She stood there wearing only a bikini with a pareo, her long, dark hair wet and cascading over her shoulders. The scent of gel and shampoo filled the air, overwhelming his senses and leaving him utterly surprised and speechless. "Olivia, why are you here?" He gaped at her, unable to believe his eyes, his mind still reeling from the shock. Olivia was also shocked and asked, "What are you doing here?" Her heart skipped a beat, and she instinctively took a small step back into the room, feeling a rush of emotions overwhelming her. Her mind went blank and her head spun with confusion and surprise. "What's the matter?" Another man approached the door, dressed in nothing but shorts and slippers, and Austin immediately recognized him. "You! How dare you lay a hand on my girl?" The anger surged inside Austin, overpowering his senses, and he advanced towards Vincent with unwavering determination to teach him a lesson. "Stop, Austin!" Olivia stepped in front of him, her voice urgent. Austin's eyes were filled with anger and hurt. "How could you do this to me, Olivia? I trusted you!" She knew that Austin had already discovered her betrayal, and there was no point in denying it any longer. Olivia took a deep breath and looked at him directly. "Austin," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "I think we need to break up." Austin's eyes widened in shock as he processed Olivia's words. "Break up," he repeated, disbelief clear in his voice. "We've been together for more than 3 years. Is this really happening now?" "Yes, I think we need to break up," she said, her voice heavy with emotion. "It's not easy for me to say this, but I don't think we're right for each other anymore." Austin looked taken aback, his eyes widening in surprise. "What do you mean?" he asked, confusion evident in his voice. She took a deep breath and looked at him, a mix of sadness and frustration in her eyes. "Let's be honest, Austin. You're poor, Austin, and we're struggling financially. We can barely afford the basics, and we never have anything nice. Every time we go out, people always laughing at me, and I feel embarrassed by this situation. I need someone who can support me financially and emotionally as well, and I cannot feel that from a loser like you." She turned to Vincent and took his arm. "Vincent is my boyfriend now. He is rich and not a loser like you. From now on, refrain from contacting me in the future." "Well, it looks like you're nothing more than Olivia's worthless ex now," Vincent sneered at Austin, a provocative smirk etched on his face. Austin stood there, soaked clothes clinging to his body with mud stains tarnishing his pants and shoes, his self-esteem plummeting as Olivia's words echoed in his mind. He couldn't help but feel like a complete failure. Vincent snatched the bag from Austin's hand, extracting a box of condoms and waving it mockingly. He burst into laughter, taunting Austin. "Haha, here I am, enjoying a luxurious hotel stay with my girlfriend, while you, the ex, graciously deliver me condoms. It's quite thoughtful of you, considering you're single and all." "You can leave now," Olivia sharply commanded, her tone laced with frustration and impatience. "Nah, it's a good thing he didn't run off. Perhaps you're eager to witness me putting him in his place." "Huh, Olivia, a lady deserves some entertainment," Vincent sneered with contempt. Austin's spirit crumbled under the weight of his words. He turned slowly, defeated, and silently exited the room. "Dude, you're not even taking the money." "How generous of you. I get a girlfriend and a freebie," Vincent gloated, relishing in Austin's defeated demeanor as he closed the door behind him. As Austin left the hotel, the rain poured down even harder than before. He decided to abandon his umbrella, letting the cold rain soak his entire body and allowing him to clear his head. Olivia had abandoned Austin under the false impression that he had no money. Losing such a materialistic woman should have been a reason to celebrate. So why was he feeling so downcasted? His phone buzzed in his pocket. Austin took it out and looked at the screen. But as soon as he saw the number, he froze. His body trembled as he read the text message. After completing the poverty training, the Jacobs family has concluded that their son, Austin Jacobs, has satisfied the required conditions to receive his inheritance. Effective immediately, he will regain control of his property. The raindrops caused the screen to blur. Austin's mind spun. Without that message, he could have forgotten his identity as a young billionaire. For over 6 years, his family evaluated him, withholding his fortune until they deemed his compliance satisfactory. And now, everything that belonged to him was his to claim. The next morning, I woke up early and headed to the opulent trust bank. Filled with excitement, I entered the bank and accidentally bumped into a young lady, Lily Romanoff. To be honest, she was quite cute. "Oh, I'm so sorry, beautiful. I didn't see you there. Are you okay?" "Seriously? Watch where you're going. You just ruined my expensive dress. Do you have any idea how much this cost?" "I apologize. It was an accident. I didn't mean to bump into you. Can I do anything to make it right? Maybe pay for the damages?" "Look at yourself in the mirror. I don't think you can afford it." With that, another girl approached. It was Amelia Thompson, the assistant bank manager. She looked at me with crossed arms as if I were not a customer. "Hey, young man, leave now or the security guard will escort you out." "I need to check my bank account." "Oh, do you have one of our cards?" "No, I don't." "Do you think you can just walk in here and check your bank account without any cards?" How embarrassing. While we were discussing the situation, a man approached us. It was Lily's father, a prominent figure in the bank. "Lily, let's go. We have other matters to attend to." "Okay, Dad." With those words exchanged, Lily and her father bid farewell. The assistant manager graciously accompanied them outside, ensuring a heartfelt goodbye. Left alone, I seized the opportunity to make my way to the bank's exclusive private room, which was reserved for only the most important customers worth a minimum of $10 million. As I entered the private room, the door automatically locked behind me. Inside, I was greeted by the sight of a distinguished, well-dressed man sitting on a sofa. His expression quickly shifted to surprise upon seeing me, and he promptly stood up to offer his greetings. "Hello, sir. I'm sorry. I didn't expect to find you here. I'm David Adamson, the bank manager. How may I assist you?" Initially, he appeared quite shocked. However, as he took a better look at me, he seemed to relax slightly, though a hint of confusion remained. In his mind, I appeared to be just an ordinary kid who had mistakenly entered the wrong door. "I simply want to reactivate and check my bank account. May I have your bank card, please?" "I don't have any of your cards. Is there something else you require?" Our bank uses a blood droplet recognition device exclusively for individuals with a net worth exceeding $100 million. "All right, let me use that then." Filled with hesitation and confusion, he took the device and collected a droplet of my blood. After inserting the blood into the device, an error message appears. He swiftly takes out his phone, prepared to call the police. "Wait, maybe the device needs more drops of my blood." "Are you kidding me? If you want to donate blood, go to the hospital. Then why don't you take a look at the device?" Examining the device once more, his eyes widened as a message materialized on the screen. It indicated that to reactivate the account, 2 droplets of blood were required. The manager, now in a state of urgency, repeated the procedure, carefully placing 2 droplets of my blood onto the device. And just like that, the device sprang to life, displaying a triumphant message: "Account reactivation success." After a few seconds, the device displayed more details about my account. It revealed that I possessed more than 5 accounts, each with a balance no lower than $500 million, along with numerous assets under my name. As the manager's eyes widened in shock, he swiftly issued an apology. Realizing the magnitude of his previous assumptions, "I apologize sincerely, Mr. Jacobs. This is my first time using the device, and you are the first person to use it at our branch. Please forgive me for my earlier attitude." "It's okay. Can I have a card?" "Of course, sir. Please Please give me a moment. The manager quickly took a seat in front of the computer and, after a short while, the device produced a card. He handed me the highest tier card available. After getting the card, I walked towards the room's exit. I was surprised to see Amelia, the assistant manager, standing there clearly angry. Little did I know she had seen me entering the room. In her mind, she started suspecting that I had done something wrong to the bank manager and taken a card. "Hey, stop right there! What did you do to Mr. Adamson? Hand over the card you're holding right now!" Amelia shouted, grabbing the card from my hand. Her loud voice caught the attention of the manager, who came out to investigate. "Amelia, what on earth are you doing to Mr. Jacobs? Give him his card back immediately, or you'll be fired!" Amelia was startled and trembling with fear as the manager's strong reaction caught her off guard. Confused and shaken, she hesitantly handed me the card. "Sorry again, Mr. Jacobs." She didn't know what she was doing. "Amelia, what are you doing?" "Apologize to Mr. Jacobs immediately." "No, it's okay. I'm running late for my first class. I need to go." After the incident, I made my way happily to the university. However, as I reached the classroom for my first class, I realized that the lecture had just ended. Mr. Evans, my favorite teacher who treated every student equally regardless of their background, walked out and spotted me. I couldn't help but feel guilty for missing his class. During the break after the first class, I saw my ex-girlfriend Olivia with Vincent on the stairs. Vincent noticed me and quickly kissed Olivia. Strangely, instead of feeling jealous, I felt disgusted. A few seconds later, Bella, one of my classmates, arrived and noticed me staring at them. "Olivia, you chose him over Austin? How disgusting." "Of course! Vincent is wealthier than Austin. And why do you care? You two are just poor losers and you make a good match." "Olivia, let's have lunch at a fancy restaurant. How about the Culinary Haven?" "Sure, honey. That sounds great." After their conversation, they went to grab their snacks, and Bella approached me. She offered me comfort and extended a kind invitation to join her for lunch at the same restaurant where Vincent and Olivia were heading. However, I declined her offer and instead proposed treating her to a meal at Uncle Muggin's someday. It's one of the most prestigious restaurants in New York. I knew she might not believe me or think I was being crazy after what had just happened, but it didn't matter. I was confident she would believe me in due time. Shortly after, my friend Jake, who was also my dorm mate, called me. He wanted to introduce his new girlfriend to our group and invited us to a restaurant. He asked if I could bring my girlfriend, but I explained that we had already broken up. Later that evening, at the restaurant, my dorm mates Jake, Lucas, and Nathan were already seated at a table, together with Azura, Jake's new girlfriend, and her dorm mate Scarlett, Isabel, and to my surprise, Lily. Yes, Lily was there, the same girl I had encountered at Opulent Trust Bank earlier. Look, Scarlett and Isabel, this is the poor loser who ruined my dress at Opulent Trust Bank. Upon seeing me, Lily shared the details of what happened at the bank with her dorm mates. Filled with anger, she abruptly left the restaurant without paying attention and ended up unexpectedly bumping into Henry Sullivan. "Hey, are you okay? I hope I didn't hurt you. Do you want me to help ease the discomfort with a gentle massage?" Upon hearing those words, Lily slapped the guy in the face and quickly left. Episode 6. The Web Guardian. A few hours later, Jake and Azura went their separate ways, and the others returned to their dorms. It was quiet when Nathan suddenly shouted, "Austin! Lucas! Amy Davidson is doing a live stream!" Amy Davidson was popular in their class, and some people secretly had feelings for her. Since Austin had free time, he decided to join and watch the live stream as well. Thank you everyone for sending me presents. If you want a shout out, just send me a gift and I will give you a shout out automatically. She smiled and interacted playfully with the camera, captivating the audience with her charm and charisma. Just as she finished speaking, a notification flashed on the screen. AAA sent a golden heart. Thank you, AAA, for the golden heart. I love you. Amy smiled and blew a flying kiss towards the camera. Nathan noticed that Amy was being flirtatious with the gift givers, and he couldn't help but feel a twinge of jealousy. Nervously, he selected a gift and pressed the send button. A message appeared on the public screen. Nathan Reynolds has sent a flower. Using his real name as his screen name, Nathan typed, "Amy, you're incredibly beautiful." Amy smiled sweetly and spoke into the camera. Thank you for the gift, Nathan. You're pretty amazing, too. Nathan smiled in surprise, never expecting that his crush would actually talk to him during our live stream. Just then, another message appeared on the live streaming channel, capturing everyone's attention. Crimson Quasar 89 typed, "Wow, would you look at this absolute moron?" Using his real name as a screen name. This idiot is clueless. Nathan's expression instantly changed as he realized that almost everyone from their class was in the chat room. Thoughts raced through his mind. What am I gonna do? They already know who I am, he thought. Nathan replied, so what if I use my real name? You should use the poop emoji for your username since you were talking shit. Crimson Quasar 89 responded, you don't know me, and I know who you are. Idiot. You're just a clueless, poor loser who has nothing. If you have the guts, I challenge you to outdo me by sending a gift of greater value. But we both know you won't measure up, pathetic. Amy frowned, clearly unhappy with the comments she was seeing in the chat section. Cut it out, guys. If you don't stop, I'll remove you from my stream. Nathan swiftly apologized. Sorry, Amy. This person started it. Crimson Quasar 89 responded, so what if I started? I don't care. What a loser. Amy reached for her phone, intending to block the person, but a notification flashed on the screen. Crimson Quasar 89 sent a warship. Crimson Quasar 89 typed, come on, loser. If you want to challenge me, make sure you have enough money to keep up with me. Crimson Quasar 89 sent a warship. 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 Crimson Quasar 89 gave away 5 more consecutive gifts, totaling $500 in value. Amy was taken aback. She couldn't believe her eyes as she looked at the screen. She clasped her hands together and a wide smile spread across her face. Crimson Quasar 89, you've been incredibly generous. I'm beyond grateful. Amy playfully blew kisses to the camera, expressing her joy and appreciation. Crimson Quasar 89, are you one of my classmates? Amy asked, a smile on her face. Upon seeing the interaction, Nathan felt a surge of anger and jealousy. He muttered to himself, does this guy think he's so great just because he has money? I'll show him how to do it. Nathan Reynolds typed, Amy, I want to help you. Can you make me a moderator? Okay, please wait a moment, Amy responded. She took out her phone, but before she could make Nathan a moderator, Crimson Quasar 89 sent a gift and typed, Amy, what about me? I would make a better moderator than him. Seconds later, Crimson Quasar 89 was set as a moderator. He typed, Nathan, you poor loser. Let me show you what you're looking for. With that, a system notification appeared on the screen. Nathan Reynolds has been muted for 24 hours. Nathan clenched his fists, frustration evident in his thoughts. No way. I've been muted for 24 hours. He tapped his phone with increasing frustration, but his message refused to send. This is ridiculous. I can't even defend myself against Crimson's insults. It's not fair. Crimson Quasar 89 continued taunting. Nathan, why are you in silence now? What a loser. Thank you, Crimson Quasar 89, for all the generous gifts. Everyone, I'll be right back. I just need to go to the restroom, Amy announced before getting up and heading to the restroom. The chat section erupted with a flurry of messages. Mr. Allrounder typed, I've been wondering who this arrogant Crimson Quasar 89 is. I hope someone can stand up to him and give him a taste of his own medicine. Whale Shark typed, Crimson Quasar 89 is an exceptional competitor and the wealthiest person in our class. No one can surpass him. Starachu 55 typed, he may have wealth, but he's also incredibly arrogant. Egg Potato joined the conversation. Be careful what you say if you don't want to be muted. By the way, Crimson Quasar 89, what are you up to at the moment? Crimson Quasar 89 responded, just hanging out with my friends at one of the luxurious hotels in New York. Cold Sauce joined the conversation, eager to flatter. Oh, Crimson Quasar 89 is beyond incredible. It's no wonder poor Nathan pales in comparison. Crimson Quasar 89 typed, he actually believes he can compete with me. All scruffy and pathetic, he disgusts me. Nathan seethed with anger, but then he remembered that this was Amy's live streaming blog. He couldn't risk causing a scene because of her. His friend, Lucas, couldn't tolerate the ongoing argument and decided to send a message. Crimson Quasar 89, remember, we're all classmates here. Consider your words carefully. Hey, look who's here! Another idiot. Crimson Quasar 89 quickly replied, these guys must be Nathan's friends, Lucas or Austin. It's no surprise they're hanging out with him given their poor judgment. You losers are penniless, even more than Nathan. If you have the guts to challenge me for a gift, be ready to be crushed. My victory will hit you like an unstoppable force. Meanwhile, Amy had just emerged from the restroom and resumed her position in front of the live stream camera. Crimson Quasar 89 sent a warship. 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 Crimson Quasar 89 sent out 5 more gifts. Thank you so much, Crimson Quasar 89. It's my first time receiving gifts like this. Whoever you are, let me treat you to lunch at school, Amy said gratefully, placing her hand on her chest and thanking everyone. Chicken Feet typed, I must say, Crimson Quasar 89, your generosity is unparalleled. I'm absolutely amazed. I hope we can have a date. The other students started flattering him and trying to gain his favor. Crimson Quasar 89 typed once more, his words filled with arrogance. Did you witness the poverty of Austin and Lucas? They're nowhere near what people desire. And now you two dare to challenge me. You're greatly overestimating yourselves. After that message, Lucas was also muted for 24 hours. What? Lucas snapped, his voice tinged with anger. Lucas, it's okay. Don't let that arrogant person's words get to you. Nathan consoled him, appreciative of Lucas standing up for him. Crimson Quasar 89 returned to the chat, his arrogance radiating through his words. Maybe Nathan and his friend are crying in their beds right now. What a pair of poor losers, Crimson Quasar 89 boasted, his arrogance shining through. He continued, Amy, I understand that you don't want those less fortunate individuals to be part of your live broadcasts. Frankly speaking, they can be quite embarrassing. But don't worry, if you want, I can ask my wealthy friends to watch your live broadcasts and encourage them to purchase gifts for you. You deserve the best after all. At that moment, Austin smiled, and within a few seconds, a notification popped up on Amy's live stream. The Web Guardian sent a super golden ship. Everyone was shocked. The super golden ship was known to be one of the most expensive gifts available with a price of $2,000. The chat section exploded with messages as viewers expressed their awe and admiration for the Web Guardian's extravagant gesture. The stream was buzzing with excitement, and Amy couldn't believe her eyes. She covered her mouth in astonishment, the shock and excitement making it hard for her to find the right words to express her emotions. Wait, what? Did someone just purchase the most expensive gift? Who the hell could this be? Is it from our class? Nathan asked, staring at the screen with a confused expression. I don't think it's someone from our class. Unless there's a secret wealthy student other than Crimson Quasar 89. Let's just hope that this person isn't as arrogant as Crimson. Lucas stared at his phone, puzzled by the unexpected turn of events. Oh, a super golden ship. Of course, that's an expensive gift. I could send that too. When it comes to money, no one can beat me. Crimson Quasar 89 sent the message, thinking about how the cost of the gift exceeded his monthly allowance. And as his message appeared on the chat section, another notification popped up, shocking everyone. The Web Guardian has sent a super golden ship. The Web Guardian has sent a super golden ship. The Web Guardian has sent a super golden ship. The Web Guardian has sent a super golden ship. The Web Guardian has sent a super golden ship. No way. With those gifts, I could just quit school and pursue a career in live streaming, Nathan thought in shock, his eyes fixed on the screen. The messages flooded the chat at 5 times the usual speed, leaving Amy in a state of shock and disbelief. She raised her hands in astonishment, unable to comprehend why her supporters would bestow upon her such an abundance of gifts. 6 super golden ships that equated to a staggering $12,000? Thank you so much. I'm incredibly thrilled and overflowing with excitement. It's absolutely unbelievable. To the Web Guardian, I'm all ears. Whatever you want to share or ask, I'm here to listen. Amy's eyes widened in astonishment as she looked into the camera. The Web Guardian typed, "Can I become the moderator?" "Absolutely. Anything you ask, consider it done." Amy quickly agreed and reached for her phone. Such a significant person's request deserved to be fulfilled. The Web Guardian, you are now the sole moderator. Amy smiled sweetly at the camera. After just a few seconds, another system notifications appeared on the right side of the screen. Yes, I can chat again. The Web Guardian truly lives up to their name. A true Web Guardian. Nathan laughed out joyfully, feeling a sense of relief and gratitude. Nathan typed playfully, "Who's crying now? Crimson Quasar 89. Why so silent?" Lucas, still filled with anger, retorted, "So you're looking for a gift competition, huh?" "Well, I guess you're nothing compared to the Web Guardian." The Web Guardian, "Thank you so much. I would like to invite you on a date. How about we meet for lunch at this charming little cafe downtown? We can enjoy a delicious meal together and then maybe take a stroll through the park," Amy said, her beauty captivating and her smile infectious. The Web Guardian responded graciously, typing, "Thanks, but there's no need." Continuing from the heart, the Web Guardian shared an important message. Let us remember that wealth should never be used as a tool to belittle others. Irrespective of our financial circumstances, we are all human beings deserving of respect and kindness. It is crucial that we embrace mutual respect and refrain from targeting or mistreating those who are less fortunate. Episode 7. Unexpected Consequences. The Web Guardian's message deeply resonated with everyone, touching their hearts and prompting them to express their appreciation through a flurry of supportive comments. Silver Lily typed, "Absolutely. This is the epitome of how a wealthy individual should carry themselves. Inspiring and admirable." Shining Star typed, "I couldn't agree more. This is the perfect representation of how someone blessed with wealth should conduct themselves. Classy and benevolent." Golden Sun typed, "Spot on. This exemplifies the ideal characteristics of a rich person. Humble, generous, and making a positive impact on others' lives." In response to the heartfelt message, Lucas and Nathan burst into laughter, unable to contain their joy. Their laughter echoed through the room as they cheered in unison, their spirits lifted by the moment. Moments later, a system message flashed on the right side of the screen, announcing Crimson Quasar 89 has left the live stream. Laughter erupted among the viewers upon witnessing Crimson's departure from the stream. In the midst of the jovial atmosphere, another girl appeared on the live stream, approaching Amy with a gentle touch as she rested her hands on Amy's shoulder. Boiled Egg excitedly typed, "Wow, it's Olivia! Look how beautiful she is." While they were all classmates and familiar with Olivia, there were also viewers in the live stream who were not part of their class. Surprisingly, many of these viewers happened to be secret admirers of Olivia, captivated by her charm and allure. Amy introduced Olivia to the audience, saying, "Everyone, meet Olivia, my roommate. She's absolutely beautiful. Keep watching, and maybe I'll share her number." Amy spoke warmly to the screen, generating excitement among the viewers. As Olivia watched Amy's live stream and blog, her excitement grew when she witnessed her friend receiving 6 super golden ships within a matter of seconds. The value of those 6 super golden ships amounted to a whopping $12,000. Naturally, Olivia also harbored a desire to connect with a wealthy individual. If this particular admirer happened to be a friend of Amy, Olivia felt a strong curiosity to get to know him better. "Hey, Amy, who is this rich man?" Olivia asked. With a direct gaze at the screen, she made it clear that she wanted the wealthy viewer of the live streaming blog to take a good look at her. "I'm not sure, Olivia. I don't think he's from our class," Amy replied. She shifted her focus towards the camera and called out, "The Web Guardian. Are you still there?" Suddenly, a system notification popped up on the screen. The Web Guardian sent a super golden ship. Amy and Olivia were taken aback by the surprise gift from the Web Guardian. Olivia's excitement soared, and she eagerly tried to catch his attention. "Wow, you're amazing!" Sending a gift without hesitation in response to Amy's question, she exclaimed, "By the way, I'm getting ready to do my own live stream. Would you like to watch it? Olivia's anticipation was palpable as she extended an invitation to the web guardian. When Nathan noticed Austin lying on the bed with his phone, he couldn't help but ask, "Hey, Austin, are you watching Amy's live stream in Channel 2? Austin replied with a lie, saying, "Nope, just playing some games." Nathan smiled and said, "Oh, that's good for you." Deep down, he felt concerned, knowing that if Austin was actually watching the live stream, it might stir up emotions due to his recent breakup with Olivia. "Are you serious, Olivia?" Amy called out to her friend, her voice filled with annoyance. "You're planning to start a live stream too. Why didn't you inform me? And even if you do, don't even think about trying to steal the web guardian away from me." Ignoring Amy's words, Olivia shamelessly addressed the camera to the web guardian. "Whoever you may be, I want to let you know that I'm still single and haven't found the right boyfriend yet. Strangely enough, I feel drawn to you and sense a connection. I would love for us to get to know each other better." Olivia's coy expression as she spoke added a touch of sincerity to her words. The web guardian asked, "Are you sure you're still single?" Olivia was momentarily taken aback by the web guardian's question. Being well aware of her own beauty, she understood why it might be hard to believe that she was single. However, in order to maintain the impression that would help her secure a wealthy husband, she insisted that she was indeed single. With a playful smile, she responded, "That's right, I haven't even had a boyfriend yet." Amy interjected with a puzzled expression, "Wait, Olivia, didn't you recently break up with Austin? Aren't you dating Vincent now?" Amy was familiar with Olivia's manipulative nature. Usually, it didn't bother her much, but considering that the web guardian had just gifted her a present worth a total of $14,000, she wasn't willing to let Olivia steal him away without a fight. Oh, Olivia's face revealed surprise as Amy exposed her. Feeling embarrassed, she mustered a sheepish smile and offered an apologetic expression. "Vincent and I are just, well, we're just good friends," she clarified. "And as for Austin, I simply felt sorry for him because of his financial situation, so I helped him with his studies. Any rumors about us being in a relationship were nothing more than gossip spread by our classmates." Olivia skillfully concocted an excuse to showcase her innocence to the potential suitor. The web guardian, "If you're interested in getting to know Olivia, feel free to add me." Amy's words were interrupted abruptly as a system message appeared on the screen, announcing the web guardian has left the live stream. Amy and Olivia were disappointed. Austin switched off his phone and gazed at the ceiling, a smile on his face. He was thinking about Olivia's reaction just now. "I was with Olivia for a whole year, and yet she compared our relationship to helping a poor classmate." "It stung like a sharp blade," Austin muttered, a bitter smile crossing his face. "Olivia had a thing for money. I wonder how she'd react if she knew just how wealthy I am." With that, he fell asleep. The next day, after their classes, Austin and his dorm mates returned to their dorm. While they were talking, their friend Jake entered the room with a worried expression on his face. He interrupted their conversation and delivered the news with a sense of urgency, saying, "Guys, I have some bad news." "What's wrong, Jake?" "Maybe we can help," Nathan asked, taking a sip of water to quench his thirst. "It's about yesterday," Jake said, taking a seat and looking at the other three with a worried expression. "What's wrong?" Austin asked, his intuition sensing the gravity of the situation from Jake's troubled expression. "It's about Lily," Jake said, his voice filled with urgency. "When she left the restaurant yesterday, she did something shocking. She slapped Henry Sullivan, the chief operating officer of Solaris Corporation Group." "Are you serious?" Nathan exclaimed, his eyes widening with disbelief. He stood up abruptly, his astonishment evident as he continued. "Solaris Corporation Group is one of the top 10 companies in New York City. They have their retail offices scattered all over the streets, and that's just one aspect of their extensive business portfolio. Lily has truly gone too far this time. She's undoubtedly going to face severe consequences." Casting a quick glance at Nathan, who seemed to be in a state of ceaseless chatter, Austin shifted his focus to Jake. A question arose in his mind, prompting him to inquire, "Considering Lily's background and her association with a powerful family, do you think they might have any influence or means to intervene in this situation?" Aware that Lily's family possessed sufficient wealth to establish an account at the opulent Trust Bank, Austin couldn't help but acknowledge their considerable influence and power. Everglobe Technologies company, owned by Lily's family, just can't measure up to the scale of the Solaris Corporation Group, Jake remarked with a frown, adding his perspective to the conversation. Azura told me, Jake began, his arms crossed, that Lily's company received some bad news today. Her dad is really worried about several partnerships that are threatening to cancel. The Solaris Corporation Group must have done this. Just then, Jake's phone rang, causing a momentary interruption. It was his girlfriend, Azura. Nervously, Jake answered the call and listened intently. All right, I understand. I'll head there immediately. That's all. Goodbye, Jake responded, his tone indicating a sense of urgency before ending the call and hanging up the phone. Lily received a call from her dad, Jake disclosed, his tone tinged with worry. He informed her that she must find a solution. According to him, the only way to resolve the matter is for her to spend one night with Henry. Otherwise, her dad fears that Benjamin will dismantle their entire family. Yesterday, I noticed that scumbag Henry staring at Lily in a creepy way, Nathan exclaimed, his frustration evident. It would be devastating for her to spend a night with him. Damn it, both the father and son are shamelessly despicable. Nathan's anger seeped into his words as he expressed his strong disapproval. Understanding the gravity of the situation and the potential consequences for Lily, Jake and the others exchanged meaningful glances. Let's not waste any more time, Jake said, his voice determined. We should go to Azura's dorm immediately and help Lily come up with a plan. With a quick and decisive movement, Jake stood up, ready to take action. The group hurriedly made their way outside, ensuring to lock the door securely behind them. Jake, taking charge, quickly confirmed the directions with the dorm front desk worker before leading Austin and the rest of the group to the third floor. With a determined push, Jake opened the door to Lily's dorm room, where she resided with her friends. The dorm room, although inhabited by Lily and her friends who were dressed nicely, presented a stark contrast in terms of its condition. While the blankets on Azura's bed seemed to be of good quality, the other three beds appeared disheveled and neglected, reflecting a lack of care and upkeep. Jake entered the room, observing the scene with concern. Azura, Scarlett, and Isabel sat beside Lily, their faces filled with anxiety. Lily, visibly distressed, sobbed and clung to her legs while seated on the bed. Worried about Lily's well-being, Jake directed his question to Azura. "How is she?" he asked, his voice reflecting his concern. Azura quickly stood up and motioned for Jake and the others to follow her towards the door. She turned to look at Lily with concern before whispering to them, "Lily's dad knows that she caused this trouble. He shouted at her on the phone. She's been crying for almost 2 hours now. He told her that if she can't fix things, she'll have to spend the night with Henry Sullivan." Damn, what kind of father is he? Nathan couldn't hide his disgust, his voice laced with disbelief and disapproval. "I guess he's in a tough spot," Azura replied. 10 of his business partners are threatening to cancel their contracts, and there's a chance others might too. Her dad called me secretly and asked me to look after Lily. He's trying to figure out how to fix things. With that, Azura motioned for Jake and the others to join Lily, emphasizing the need for their presence and support. "Lily, please don't cry. If Benjamin's family takes things too far, we'll involve the police and ensure they face the consequences," Jake said, his expression turning serious as he attempted to console her. Nathan, determined and forceful, swiftly retrieved his phone. "Let's call the police right away," he declared. He dialed the emergency number 117, ready to take immediate action. "Don't!" Lily cried out, finally lifting her gaze from her knees. Her face was marked by tears and her watery eyes were red and swollen. All traces of her previous arrogance had vanished, replaced by vulnerability and gratitude. She realized that Nathan and the others were genuinely trying to help her in this difficult situation. Tears continued to stream down her face as she spoke, her voice filled with sadness. "Calling the police won't help. It will only make things worse," she said, her words carrying a sense of resignation and understanding. Lily knows how her father and other influential people deal with such situations. If she calls the police, Benjamin Sullivan might become upset. Given his power and influence, things could escalate if he gets extremely angry. "We should seek assistance from someone else," Nathan suggested. "If we can locate someone with even greater influence, they might be capable of resolving this. I'll contact my father and inquire." He retrieved his phone and moved to a secluded area to make the call. "I'll join in as well," Azura, Scarlett, and Isabel chimed in. However, deep down, they were all aware that their family's connections wouldn't be sufficient to confront Benjamin, the formidable leader of the Solaris Corporation Group. Austin, breaking his silence, reassured them. Don't worry, we will find a resolution soon. Episode 8. Austin's Influence. When Lily heard Austin's words, she raised her head and gave him a cold look. Why are you here? She asked, not hiding her disapproval. Austin understood from Lily's expression that she didn't want him there. Azura quickly interjected on Austin's behalf. Lily, Austin is here to assist you in finding a solution. He's genuinely concerned about you. Lily sneered. Oh, he is worried. Seriously. Because of him, I bumped into Henry. If that hadn't happened, there wouldn't be any problems right now. She pointed at the door and shouted, Just go! Get out of my room right now! Lily, please don't be so mean to Austin, Azura said, sensing the unfairness in Lily's reaction. Austin came here with the intention to help you, and you're treating him like that? Austin maintained his composure, refusing to engage further. Without uttering a single word, he gracefully proceeded towards the door in silence. His dormmate, Jake, followed him to the door, expressing concern. Are you okay, Austin? He asked. Don't take Lily's words too seriously. You know she's in a bad mood today because of what happened. I hope you understand her. I'm okay. Don't worry about me, Austin reassured with a smile. By the way, please let her know that there's no need to worry. Everything will be resolved soon. With confidence, Austin left as if nothing had happened. Feeling sympathy for Austin, Jake couldn't help but feel bad. With that in mind, he turned and made his way back to the room. That person is just pure bad luck for me. I really hope I never have to see him again, Lily grumbled, still holding on to her anger towards Austin. However, when she noticed Jake enter in the room, she paused, struck by an idea. Wait, I have an idea. I remember a friend who I believe can help me. With determination, she took out her phone and dialed her friend's number. Hey, Zephyr, how have you been? Lily greeted as she began to recount everything that had happened. Meanwhile, the others in the dorm joined in, seeking assistance from anyone they could think of who might be able to lend a hand. Hi, Auntie Daisy. It's Scarlett. Can I ask you for a favor? You know my dormmate and Benjamin Sullivan from the Solaris Corporation Group. Oh, you're concerned about making him angry. Well, maybe you could just try talking to him. No. Okay, no worries. I'll find someone else to help. Thanks, Auntie. Goodbye. Hello, Uncle Lewis. Can you lend us a hand? My friend Lily is in trouble. Outside the girls' dorm, Austin paused, taking a deep breath. He pulled out his phone and dialed the number of his family butler, Arthur, from the United States. After 2 rings, Arthur answered the call. Austin, it's great to hear your voice again. How's everything in New York? I must say, I wish it was me your family sent to assist you instead of Margaret Lee. I wish that too. You're much better than Mrs. Lee, Austin replied. It had been 2 years since he last spoke to Arthur and his heart swelled with emotion. By the way, I need your help. I'm happy to assist. But why not Mrs. Lee since she's there with you in New York? Arthur asked, sounding a bit confused. Let's just say I feel more comfortable with you. Anyway, I want you to confront Benjamin Sullivan from the Solaris Corporation Group. Austin cut to the chase. Solaris Corporation, Benjamin Sullivan, he thought for a moment. Benjamin Sullivan? Who is he? And what's the Solaris Corporation Group? Arthur wondered. Oh, it's a local business here in New York. Can you handle it? Austin's family holds significant influence worldwide. The Solaris Corporation Group is one of the top 10 companies in New York, but it's not as significant as Austin's family. Of course, Arthur exclaimed. It falls under your family's North Star Division of Management. I'll inform Kevin, the manager of the division, right away. By the way, Sir Austin, what do you want to confront Benjamin about? I want him to cease all actions against Everglobe Technologies Company, Austin stated calmly. Okay, sir, don't worry. Within 20 minutes, regardless of Benjamin's dealings with Everglobe, he will cease his actions, Arthur assured with a faint smile. Okay, Austin simply replied, then hung up. With that, Arthur wasted no time in relaying the message to Kevin, the manager of the North Star Division. At that moment, Sebastian Hawthorne, the father of Lily's classmate whom she had contacted earlier, agreed to his son Zephyr's request and headed to the New York City Traders Alliance. Sebastian happened to be a high school classmate of Asher Montgomery, the president of the alliance. Zephyr was hopeful that if Asher agreed to help, the issue could be resolved smoothly. During that time, Asher was inside the Alliance building, engaged in intense negotiations with an investment company. Both sides had 10 members present, and the deal on the table involved a substantial sum of $300 million. The negotiation had reached its most crucial point, and there was a sense of anticipation that an agreement could be reached within the next 5 minutes, securing a $300 million investment for Asher's company. However, the atmosphere was abruptly disrupted when Asher's secretary pushed open the door of the meeting room and walked in. Asher furrowed his brows, and the others present shared a sense of annoyance. It was considered highly impolite for the secretary to interrupt the ongoing negotiations. The secretary leaned in and whispered a few words into Asher's ear. As the whispered message reached him, Asher's expression underwent a noticeable transformation. He appeared surprised, his face reflecting a deep contemplation as he became lost in thought. Addressing the others, Asher spoke, "I apologize, but I have pressing matters that require my immediate attention. We will reconvene to discuss this meeting later today. I ask for your understanding." With a nod of his head, he pivoted, making his way toward the door with purposeful strides. "Mr. Montgomery, if you leave now, I don't think we can continue our discussion because I will lose all trust in you," expressed the representative of the investment company, clearly enraged by the prospect. "If that's how you feel, I'm sorry," Asher replied. He turned around, spoke briefly to his secretary, and hurriedly left the room. His secretary had just informed him about an impending call from Kevin Starks concerning the issue with the Solaris Corporation Group and Everglobe Technologies. To Asher, Kevin's words held more importance than the monetary value of $300 million. The business negotiations have fallen apart, he pondered, but we can resume discussions at a later time. However, if I have offended Kevin, it won't just be a matter of financial loss. It could jeopardize my position as the Alliance president. Kevin Starks holds influence within the Alliance or its network, and within the upper echelons of New York society. He carries significant prestige. Asher and his secretary hurriedly exited the office building just as Sebastian Hawthorne arrived. "Mr. Montgomery," Sebastian called out, approaching Asher with a hopeful smile. As old friends from their school days, Sebastian believed that Asher would lend him a hand. However, Asher merely cast a brief glance in his direction before disregarding him completely. He got into his car and drove off without saying a word. Meanwhile, Austin walked to the riverside and sat on a big rock, lost in thought. He saw a couple cuddling nearby, and it reminded him of happy memories. He thought about the times when he and Olivia were so happy together. They would cook together and ride to their exams. Austin even used his saved money to buy Olivia some cosmetics as a surprise. Austin's train of thought was interrupted by the sound of his phone ringing. Glancing at the screen, it was Zira Thompson calling him. Zira was the captain of the school's cheerleading squad, of which Austin was also a member. As the only boy on the squad, Austin played a unique role. He was responsible for tasks like moving props, lifting the stereo, and running errands, as well as fanning the girls when they got too hot. Essentially, he served as the cheerleading team service assistant doing unpaid labor. "Hey, Austin, where are you? Come to the school sports field right away. What's going on?" "Just come here without asking questions. Don't be late or you're in trouble." Zira hung up, leaving Austin with a sense of urgency. With that, Austin hurriedly made his way towards the school sports field. Episode 9, Is She the One? When Austin arrived at the sports field, he saw the cheerleading squad, a group of pretty girls, practicing. Zira, the captain of the squad, talked to him and said, "So you finally arrived. I told you not to be late." She handed Austin $20 and said, "We're already thirsty. Go buy drinks for us immediately." "You should have asked me on the phone earlier, Captain, so I could have bought them on my way here," Austin replied, feeling a bit annoyed. "Why are you so grumpy today? It's not fair. Can't you handle it?" Zira questioned, her eyes widening and her words hitting Austin like a sudden burst of energy. "Fine, I'll go get it," Austin replied, opting to avoid an argument with Zira and instead fulfill her request by buying the water. A few minutes later, Austin returned with the drinks and handed Zira her change. Each member of the squad grabbed a bottle and quenched their thirst. "Hey, Austin, it's so hot. Fan me," Zira commanded, and Austin obediently started fanning her. They were seated on a nearby basketball court, observing the school basketball team practice for an upcoming match. After a 25-minute break, Zyra clapped her hands, signaling the cheerleaders to resume their practice. Austin found himself alone in the bleachers, watching Zyra and the rest of the squad continue their routines. The seats around him were cluttered with the girls' bags and training equipment. Inches later, he heard a voice saying, "Hello, why are you just watching them? Why not join them instead?" A girl approached, smiled at Austin, and took a seat next to him. Austin was momentarily stunned. The girl had long hair, an oval face, fair skin, clear black and white eyes, and a friendly expression. "Hello," Austin responded with a smile. Before Austin could say anything else, a tall boy, standing at 6 feet, approached them, interrupting their conversation. "Hey there, pretty girl. Why are you wasting your time talking to this guy? He's just a cheerleading squad assistant, doing all the dirty work. Maybe that's why Zyra Thompson allowed him to join, even though he's broke." The girl turned her gaze towards Austin, her eyes filled with kindness. "Let me just say, this guy was busy fanning Zyra earlier. Like that's all he's good for," the boy said, fanning himself with a playful smirk. He then extended his hand towards the girl and introduced himself. "By the way, I'm Kennedy Collins, the star player of our school's basketball team. I've recently started my own business and my annual income reaches $3 million. What do you think?" The more he gazed at her, the more his attraction grew. With his handsome appearance and confidence, he believed he could easily win over any girl. The girl hesitated for a moment, her gaze flickering towards Kennedy's outstretched hand, but she chose not to accept it. She simply smiled at him and replied, "Hello, I'm Eleanor Taylor, a friend of Zyra." Kennedy withdrew his hand, feeling a bit embarrassed, and responded, "Oh, Eleanor Taylor, that's a lovely name. Since Zyra and the squad are busy training, it's hard to have a conversation here. How about we take a walk around the field together and chat?" "Thanks, but I'm fine," Eleanor smiled. Kennedy felt a bit disappointed, but he wasn't ready to give up on pursuing Eleanor. Just then, someone from the basketball court called out to him, needing his presence. Reluctantly, he hurried back to the court. May I know your name?" Eleanor turned towards Austin, her smile gentle and warm. "I'm Austin," he replied, a genuine smile forming on his face. As he gazed into Eleanor's eyes, he felt an instant sense of comfort. There was no trace of contempt or pity in her beautiful eyes, only warmth and kindness. Zyra Thompson and her team had just finished practicing when she walked over to Austin and Eleanor. With a mocking tone, she said, "Hey, Eleanor, are you talking to this loser?" Zyra glanced at Eleanor with a hint of surprise. She playfully pinched Austin's shoulders and then nudged him aside to make room for herself beside her friend. "Don't bother wasting your time with him. I only brought him on board to help us carry things. Just look at his clothes. It's clear he's poor," Zyra remarked casually. "It's fine. He seems quite nice, and I don't care about his appearance," Eleanor said, smiling. "Are you serious?" Zyra completely disagreed with what Eleanor said. She looked at Austin sternly and said, "I see. You're only talking to Eleanor because you think she's pretty. Remember your place. Just so you know, don't even think about going after Eleanor." "What?" Austin wanted to explain, but the words got stuck in his throat. He didn't know how to respond. He started, "No, that's not true." But Zyra's piercing gaze silenced him instantly. Feeling helpless, Eleanor glanced at Austin with a sympathetic expression. With that, their conversation was interrupted by the sound of Zyra's ringing cell phone. She retrieved her phone from her pocket and glanced at the screen, her expression slightly furrowed. She stepped away to answer the call. "Hey sis, just relax. Our parents are just worried because you're still single. Don't worry, I'll help you find someone. Call me again later when you're free and we can discuss the situation. Trust me, I'll definitely help you. Okay sis, goodbye." Zyra ended the call and returned to her seat next to Eleanor, wearing a grim expression. "What's the matter?" Eleanor asked, concerned as she moved closer to Zyra. "It's my older sister, Amelia. Until now, she's still single, and our parents want her to get married as soon as possible because she's getting older," Zyra explained, her gaze downcast as she confided in Eleanor about her concern. "Your sister sounds amazing. She's not only beautiful but also successful in her career. I heard she's an assistant bank manager at high-end opulent trust bank," Eleanor said, her smile radiating warmth and admiration. "That's the main reason why she can't find a suitable guy to marry her," she said, her gaze shifting to Austin with a look of disdain. Poor losers like him are not suitable for us, okay? Zyra emphasized, her tone carrying a hint of dismissiveness. Episode 10, Issue Resolved. After the practice, the cheerleading squad and the basketball team departed together. The used equipment was left behind for Austin, the service assistant, to clean up. Eleanor felt sorry for Austin as she glanced at him. She wished to stay and assist him in organizing the equipment, but Zara tugged her away, stating, "Austin's only role is to help us pack up. Otherwise, we would have let him go out already on our team." While Austin was packing up the cheerleading squad's equipment and storing it, his phone rang. It was his butler, Arthur, on the line. "Sir Austin, Kevin says the issue has been resolved." As expected, Austin said, feeling proud of his butler, and then ended the call. He knew that his family was powerful, but he didn't expect the matter to be resolved this fast. He was sure that Lily had already heard the news. A few hours later, after finishing his job of cleaning and fixing the equipment, Austin decided to exercise. He went jogging, and minutes later his phone rang. It was Jake. Jake's voice sounded happy as he said, "Austin, I have a good news." "What is it?" "You seem very excited." "Is the issue resolved now with Lily?" Austin expected that the news had reached Lily's friends by now. "Oh, how come you already know when her dad only called a few minutes ago?" Jake exclaimed, sounding surprised. "From your tone, your voice sounds happy. That's why I thought that the problem was already resolved." Austin smiled. "Absolutely. It's such a relief," Jake said, raising his voice. "Anyway, since Lily is already in a good mood, she wants us to celebrate together by inviting us to dinner at a restaurant outside the campus. We're already here, so make sure to come and join us." "I'm happy for Lily, but I can't join you guys," Austin replied. He knew that Lily really hated him, so if he joined them, it would ruin the celebration. "What do you mean you can't join us? Maybe you're scared of Lily." "I'm sorry, but I really don't want to go. You guys have fun." "Come on, Austin. We're all friends here. We would all be sad if you don't come and join us to celebrate. So make sure to come, okay? We'll wait for you," Jake said, ending the call. With Jake's words lingering in his mind, Austin decided to join them. He left the campus and made his way to the restaurant. As he entered, he noticed that everyone was already there, engaged in lively conversation. As Austin scanned the room, he recognized his friends and Lily's friends among the 10 people who had gathered for the celebration. However, he also noticed a few unfamiliar faces among them. "I thought it was only Lily's dorm mates and my dorm mates here. Maybe they are Lily's classmates," Austin thought to himself. Austin approached their table, and everyone looked at him. Lily, who was engaged in a conversation with her friends, noticed Austin's arrival and briefly glanced in his direction. A momentary flash of hatred appeared in Lily's eyes. She questioned, "Who invited you here? You're lucky I'm in a good mood right now, so I'll allow you to stay and join us." Lily carried on with her conversation, completely ignoring Austin's presence. Austin stopped and looked at her back, feeling a flutter in his heart. Even after helping her, she treats me like this, he thought. Well, I guess I won't help her anymore. With that, Austin decided to keep his distance from Lily and move on. Jake approached Austin to offer comfort, whispering, "Don't mind her. Your friends are really happy that you came to join us. Let's go and take a seat." With that, they proceeded to sit down. As Austin settled into his seat, Lily cast a disgusted glance in his direction. Austin didn't even look at her, deciding to save himself from embarrassment. "Lily, who's this guy? And seems like you don't want him to be here." One of Lily's friends looked at Austin as she asked Lily in a low tone. Everyone looked at Lily, waiting for her response. Her friends, who were unaware of the situation, were genuinely curious and eager to know what was going on. Lily's gaze briefly glanced at Austin before shifting to the rest of the group. Arrogantly, she exclaimed, "Well, this guy ruined my dress when he bumped into me at the Opulent Trust Bank. I don't understand why he was there without a card, yet he still insists on checking his account." When Lily spoke, those unaware of the incident covered their mouths and chuckled, their gazes directed towards Austin. Their friends, who knew the situation, looked extremely embarrassed. They all wondered, why would she say that in front of everyone? Even if she disliked him intensely, it's inappropriate to publicly embarrass someone like that. As the waitress began to bring the plates of food to the table, they continued their conversations. Austin engaged in conversation exclusively with his friends, excluding Lily and her friends. With an air of arrogance, Lily proudly exclaimed, "Guess what? The owner of the Solaris Corporation Group, Benjamin Sullivan, went to my dad's office to personally apologize. Can you believe that? It's absolutely embarrassing." She proceeded to relay the news she had recently received from her father. One of Lily's friends exclaimed in amazement, "Wow, your family is incredible. I never realized they held such power to resolve an issue with the Solaris Corporation Group, especially considering it's one of the top-ranked companies in New York." One of Lily's friends commented, "Yes, they certainly hold significant power. I even discovered online that some companies are intimidated by them, as they have made entire companies vanish not once, but twice. However, when it comes to influential connections, your family surpasses them. By the way, Lily, could you share with us how you managed to resolve the issue so easily? And also, who was it that helped your family?" Another one of Lily's friends asked, a smile on his face. "I'm not sure yet, so I can't tell you right now. I'm also curious about who helped us. While Benjamin Brennan might be influential to others, our family connections are on a different level," Lily responded. "Give me a moment. Let me ask my dad about the influential person who helped us," she said. With that, she quickly grabbed her phone, called her father, and put it on loudspeaker so that everyone could listen in. "Hello, Dad. Can you tell me who helped us solve the problem so quickly?" Lily asked, sensing that something wasn't quite right. "When he called me earlier this morning, he was angry and said hurtful things," she thought. "Dad admitted he couldn't fix the problem I caused with Benjamin. But now, could it be that he suddenly remembered someone powerful who might be able to help? But still, that seems impossible." A thought sparked in Lily's mind. Episode 11, The False Hero. As Lily Romanoff's mind drifted, her father broke her train of thought. "Lily, I need to apologize for my previous actions. When I heard about what occurred this morning, it caught me off guard and evoked a strong emotional reaction. I ended up saying hurtful things to you, and I deeply regret it. I am truly sorry for suggesting that you resolve the issue by sleeping with Henry Sullivan. Please find it in your heart to forgive me." Lily's father's mention of Henry Sullivan's name caused her face to flush with embarrassment. "Dad, why would you bring that up while my friends are here listening?" she exclaimed in dismay. With that, she distanced herself further from her friends and continued speaking on the call. "Dad, please be honest with me. Are you the reason why the issue was resolved?" Lily asked, her voice filled with curiosity and anticipation. "Do you honestly think I would suggest such a thing? Like spending the night with Henry if I had the ability to solve the problem?" Lily's father responded. Lily closed her eyes and took a deep breath, trying to restrain the frustrations that were rising within her, refraining from expressing them aloud. "Dad, please stop mentioning this, okay? It's really embarrassing having all my friends hear it. You're making me feel like a fool," Lily expressed, her tone conveying both frustration and disappointment. "Well, I didn't know your friends were there. If you had texted me before the call, I would have been aware," her father said, clarifying that it wasn't his fault. Never mind. I just wish I could find a hole to hide in," Lily said as she held her forehead in her hands. "It's not my fault if you didn't mention it earlier. Are you trying to impress your friends by boasting about your influential connections to resolve the issue? Look at what has happened now. You've made a foolish mistake and turned this into a scandal," her father exclaimed. After a moment of silence, he spoke up again. "Lily, maybe one of your friends is the one who helped us resolve the issue." "One of my friends?" Lily asked, turning around to scan the other individuals seated around the table. It's possible since they had all made calls on her behalf. "What do you think, Lily? I think one of them helped us out," her father acknowledged. "Make sure to thank them and express your gratitude, okay?" "Okay, fine. I need to hang up now," Lily said, sounding more relaxed than before. Could it be because of her friend who helped her? Earlier, her father had criticized her, and now he was making her feel guilty. Wait a minute. The person who helped our family might be connected to Asher Montgomery, the president of the New York City Trader Alliance. It seems like Asher played a key role in resolving this matter. This friend is definitely someone special, her dad concluded. Lily returned to the dining table wearing a distinctly suspicious expression, her thoughts clearly visible. The moment her phone call ended, curiosity consumed everyone in the room. Lily calmly asked who was able to get so close to the president of the Traders Alliance. She glanced at everyone's faces and then fixed her eyes on the right side of Isabel Parker's head. Lily smiled at Isabel, who happened to be closest to her, and asked, "Isabel, did you help me?" Isabel was taken aback, her head slightly shaken as she replied with a smile, "Oh, Lily, you must be joking. I don't have that kind of influence." "Really?" Lily's expression faltered slightly as she repeated the question. "It wasn't." Isabel's unease grew as Lily's gaze shifted toward Scarlett, who happened to be seated in front of her. "So, Scarlett, it was you who helped me, right?" Lily inquired, directing her attention toward Scarlett. "No way, that's impossible," Scarlett exclaimed, shaking her head. "Lily, none of the relatives I contacted could possibly have helped." As Scarlett finished speaking, Lily's gaze moved from person to person in the room, carefully scrutinizing their faces. "Jake, did you help? And Nathan, was it you?" She looked at everyone expectantly, but when her gaze fell upon Austin, she hesitated, uncertain about the others, and moved on without asking it. Lost in thought, Lily couldn't help but wonder, could it really be Austin? The same reckless person who ventured into opulent trust bank without a card? She hesitated, unsure whether to believe it or not. If it wasn't Austin, then who could possibly be responsible? Lily's gaze lowered as she contemplated the question, her expression growing serious. Suddenly, a name raced through her mind like a lightning bolt, causing her to pause and deeply reflect. Is it possible that Zephyr is involved? Lily wondered aloud, her thoughts immediately focusing on the person she had recently contacted. The name lingered in her mind as she contemplated whether Zephyr could be connected to the situation at hand. Lily swiftly reached the conclusion Zephyr must have been the one who helped. She grabbed her phone and dialed his number without hesitation. As she waited for him to answer, she couldn't help but wonder, how does Zephyr's family have a connection with the president of the Traders Alliance? She found herself questioning the seemingly improbable relationship, feeling a mixture of confusion and disbelief. As Lily's suspicion continued to weigh on her mind, Zephyr answered the phone with a sense of urgency. "Hey Lily, is everything okay?" he asked. Without wasting any time, Lily cut to the chase, questioning, "Were you the one who helped me?" She didn't pause to respond to his initial question, her curiosity driving her to hear his answer first. Zephyr replied unsurely, "When you called, I asked my dad for help. He mentioned that he and President Montgomery used to be high school classmates, so he might be able to assist. But I haven't spoken to my dad about it yet." Zephyr, all the issues have been resolved. Lily beamed with joy. "Thank you so much for your help. My dad told me that someone sought out President Montgomery's assistance and now everything has been sorted out smoothly. Zephyr, I can't thank you enough for your invaluable assistance. Now that everything's resolved, it's all good. What's there to thank me for? It was nothing." Zephyr's tone softened as he responded. "You know how powerful the Solaris Corporation Group is. Even if they were to vanish or face bankruptcy, Henry certainly wouldn't let it slide. I might have been... Well, look, you've helped me a lot," Lily confessed, her voice tinged with fear as she pondered the situation. As the feeling of gratitude towards Zephyr intensified, Lily felt a warm sensation in her chest and tears began to well up in her eyes. "Please, there's no need for thanks," Zephyr said with a faint smile, speaking up. "Why don't you come over to Wildwood Lodge? I'd be thrilled to have the opportunity to treat you in person as a token of my appreciation," Lily exclaimed, her voice brimming with excitement. "Absolutely, I'll come over right away," Zephyr enthusiastically agreed. As he pictured Lily's charming face in his mind, a faint smile graced his lips. After ending the call, Lily surveyed the room with a sense of pride. The moment she mentioned Zephyr's connection to the president of the Trader Alliance, everyone's jaws dropped in disbelief. It was evident that having such a powerful friend was an extraordinary achievement, and Lily considered herself fortunate to have Zephyr by her side. As her friends expressed their envy, Lily's excitement grew, anticipating the opportunity to introduce them to Zephyr in person. Zephyr, being a student at Kingston University and residing near the campus, was conveniently located within walking distance of the restaurant where Lily and her friends were gathered. As Zephyr entered Wildwood Lodge, he couldn't help but notice the envious looks from the other people around. This made him feel relieved and his expression became more confident and self-assured. Zephyr stood tall at 6 feet with a fair complexion on his face, albeit slightly oily. "Hello, Zephyr," Lily greeted him with a smile, approaching him and taking hold of his hand. She looked into his eyes with the innocence of a child and spoke sincerely. "I want you to know how deeply grateful I am. You were there for me when I needed someone the most." Zephyr glanced at Lily's hand, mustering his courage. With a gentle touch, he held her hand and admired her beautiful face. His unwavering gaze conveyed reassurance as he softly said, "You don't need to thank me so much. It was the least I could do for a friend like you." Lily's smile widened as she held Zephyr's hand and led him to the table. The others at the table stood up, giving him approving looks as they welcomed him. Zephyr stood out among the people at the restaurant due to his connection with the president of the New York City Traders Alliance. His association granted him unique opportunities that others could only dream of, giving him a distinguished position among the crowd. "Wow, there are so many people here," Zephyr whispered to himself in amazement as he walked towards the dining table, taking in the sight of the gathering. He felt a wave of satisfaction as he observed everyone rising to greet him, making him feel appreciated and honored. Lowering his hand, Zephyr spoke to the crowd. "Please, everyone, no need to stand just for me." His words resonated, and gradually, the group began to take their seats. "Come sit with me," Lily insisted, attempting to pull Zephyr towards the table. However, Zephyr's strength proved formidable, making it a challenge for her to tug him along. Isabel Parker called out to the others, urging them to shift their chairs and create more space. However, despite her request, Lily and Zephyr still found themselves in a crowded situation with insufficient seating. Lily turned to Austin, motioning for him to move. As everyone started rearranging their chairs, Lily locked eyes with Austin and sent him a disapproving glare. In return, Austin met her gaze, causing Lily to be engulfed by a wave of embarrassment. After a brief moment of awkward silence, she spoke up in a blunt tone. "You're almost finished eating, so why don't you go ahead and leave? I didn't invite you to join us anyway, and the university isn't too far from here, so you should head back to your dorm." Episode 12, Inherent Beauty. As Lily and Austin exchanged glances, a sudden chill ran through everyone in the room. In that instant, a wave of tension washed over him, as if a needle had pricked his heart, leaving behind a trace of regret. Sensing Lily's presence within him, Austin turned his eyes away, but soon a smile of comprehension spread across his face. With a nod, he gently set down his chopsticks, stood up, and silently departed from the restaurant. Stepping out of the restaurant, Austin cast a weary gaze at the moon, his face reflecting a hint of exhaustion. Within his heart, a bitter emotion began to take hold, overshadowing his thoughts. His friends tried to catch up with Austin as he walked toward the dorm along the street. As Austin made his way through the area, he felt a sense of isolation and loneliness, causing him to lower his head and quickly cross the street. Shortly after reaching the dorm and entering his room, Austin prepared to lie down on his bed when he was interrupted by Margaret Lee, her family's butler in New York, calling out to him. "Sir Austin, the head of the North Star Division, Kevin Starks, has been informed about your extended stay in New York. He expressed his desire to arrange a meeting with you." Austin's family business, based in the United States, boasts a substantial global footprint, with operations and influence extending across multiple continents, including South America, Western Europe, Africa, and East Asia. "Okay, no problem," Austin said casually. Since there didn't appear to be much going on at the moment, he proposed, "You know what? It would be really nice to meet the individuals who work for my family." "Very well, sir. I shall inform him immediately and request him to meet you at your school," suggested Margaret with utmost respect. "That won't be necessary. I prefer to visit him instead." "Meeting at our school is inconvenient for me," replied Austin, politely declining Margaret's suggestion. Even though Austin outranked Kevin, he didn't want to make a big show of his wealth. He decided to avoid having Kevin, who was in charge of the family's main district, visit him at school. Instead, he chose to keep a low profile and enjoy a few more quiet days at the school. "Sir Austin, it is against your family's traditions for you to personally visit him. Kevin is just the head of a district and his presence should not trouble you," Margaret explained with a hint of apprehension. "It's fine. You're overthinking it, Margaret. I simply want to enjoy my time here in New York and take a stroll around the city. Let's not worry about formalities," reassured Austin, aiming to ease Margaret's concern. He preferred a straightforward approach without unnecessary complications. "Sir Austin, I really appreciate how you treat your subordinates. It sets a great example for all of us, Margaret expressed gratefully. If it's all right with you, I'd like to speak with Kevin now. Margaret's words showed her admiration for Austin's leadership and politely made her request. All right, responded Austin before ending the call. A few minutes later, Margaret returned the call. Sir Austin, I have an update for you. Kevin will be having lunch at the Regalia Hotel tomorrow. Would you be available to join him there? After considering the proposal, Austin responded confidently. Tomorrow works for me. Once Austin finished the call with Margaret, he decided to wind down for the night. He lay down on the bed and spent some time playing with his phone before eventually drifting off to sleep. Austin was suddenly awakened by the sound of voices. He squinted in the direction of the noise and realized that his dorm mates had returned. Nathan complained, "Zephyr is such a nuisance. He insists on singing after dinner, but his voice is just awful. It's really hard to listen to." Nathan's frustration with Zephyr's singing abilities was evident in his tone. Lucas frowned and adjusted his glasses to the light. It was already raining when we came back, he pondered. Do you think he took Lily out on his motorcycle in this weather? His concern for Lily's safety was evident in his thoughtful tone and furrowed brow. All right, go wash up and get some sleep. Stop being so noisy, Jack said to Nathan and Lucas in a hushed tone as they headed to wash their faces, noticing that Austin was already asleep. After a night's rest, as Austin walked out of the dorm towards his class, he observed the wet ground and felt the fresh air. After his second class, feeling tired, he opted to return to his dorm for some rest. As he prepared to take a nap, Jake suddenly burst into the room, his face filled with worry and concern. "Austin, something has happened to Lily," he exclaimed, breathing heavily as he rushed towards Austin. Startled by Jake's sudden outburst, Nathan's mouth fell open as he asked, "What happened to Lily?" His expression mirrored Jake's concern, as he too was worried about their friend. As the news of Lily's situation sunk in, Nathan couldn't help but think to himself, Lily was always getting into some kind of trouble, wasn't she? The memory of her past escapades flooded his mind, leaving him wondering what could have possibly happened to her this time. Did Lily and Zephyr have a motorcycle accident last night? Lucas asked with a hint of concern in his voice, but without displaying any shock. How did you find out? Jake asked, looking slightly taken aback by Lucas's seemingly accurate assumption. Well, when we returned to our dorm last night, it was raining heavily, so it's possible that something went wrong while they were riding the motorcycle, Lucas explained calmly, adjusting his glasses. His logical explanation made sense, and it was clear that Lucas was carefully piecing together the situation to make sense of what had happened to Lily. You're right. While I was at the court earlier, my girlfriend told me that Lily and Zephyr were involved in a motorcycle accident last night due to the wet conditions. They were both taken to the hospital. Their dorm mates had already gone to see them early this morning. Jake added, "We should go visit Lily as well." "Hey, let's go visit them now. Lily invited us to dinner last night, so it's the least we can do," Jake suggested, giving a reassuring pat on the shoulders of both Nathan and Lucas. "Let's go visit her," suggested Nathan, directing his words towards Austin. Jake also glanced over at Austin, who was sitting on the bed, and asked, "Are you coming with us, Austin?" "No, not right now. Maybe I'll visit her later," Austin replied, shaking his head in response. "Okay, that's good," said Jake. He understood that Austin didn't want to join them due to what happened last night, so he didn't insist. Jake bid farewell to Austin and followed Nathan and Lucas out of the dorm room. Austin left the campus and hailed a taxi to the Regalia Hotel, a renowned luxury hotel in New York. Among the towering buildings in the city, the hotel's sleek glass structure stood out. The plaza in front of the hotel was bustling with fancy cars, adding to its elegant ambience. As Austin approached the hotel door, he noticed that it was much taller than it appeared from a distance. Once he entered, he was amazed by the luxurious interior. With a grand crystal chandelier, golden lights, beige floor tiles, and exquisitely dressed staff showcasing the hotel's extravagance, Austin walked on the 2-meter-long red carpet and headed towards the elevator. As the elevator doors started to close, Austin noticed a woman in a pink uniform and black office skirt rushing towards it. Reacting quickly, he pressed the button to keep the doors open. The woman had impeccable makeup, long and stunning hair, and fair, radiant skin. Her vibrant energy caught Austin's attention. As the elevator doors reopened, Austin stepped to the side and allowed the woman to walk in. Austin caught a whiff of her expensive perfume as she walked by, and her confident stride accentuated her curvy figure. Austin had never seen someone so beautiful in person before. As the elevator doors closed, it was just him and the captivating woman inside. His heart raced, and he couldn't help but gaze at her, completely drawn to her presence. "Why are you staring at me?" she exclaimed, noticing Austin's gaze as she turned her head to meet his eyes. "Sorry, I didn't mean to stare," Austin apologized, feeling embarrassed. He quickly averted his gaze, avoiding any further discomfort. The woman seemed taken aback by his attention, her cheeks tinted with a hint of blush. Austin shifted his focus to the mirrored wall inside the elevator, reminding himself to maintain proper etiquette and not to stare. Meanwhile, the woman adjusted her necklace and discreetly checked her lipstick in the reflection. But now that she had moved, he couldn't help but notice that her butt looked even perkier than before. He glanced at her a few times and, without thinking, he unconsciously reached out and made physical contact. "Are you still staring at me?" she asked aggressively, turning around and coming to a stop just a few centimeters away from him. She trembled slightly, and Austin could feel the warmth emanating from her body. Suddenly, Austin's heart rate increased, and he felt a sudden hot sensation in his nose. He realized that his nose was bleeding and quickly raised his head. As Austin's nose started bleeding, she noticed a sudden shift in the atmosphere. Despite feeling angry just moments ago, she couldn't help but smile as she watched him. "You have no future," she said playfully, crossing her arms. As a sudden itch tickled his nose, Austin felt a sneeze coming on. He couldn't help but let out a loud sneeze. "Yuck. Do you have no manners?" she exclaimed in disgust. As Austin opened his eyes, he realized that he had just sneezed and blood was now spattered onto the woman's pink top. Sorry. Austin quickly apologized and took out a tissue to wipe the blood off her clothes. As Austin's hand touched her chest and wiped it twice with the tissue, his attention quickly shifted in less than a second. So soft, he thought dreamingly. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" she snapped, her gaze narrowing on Austin. Austin's voice caught in his throat. He felt paralyzed, unable to respond. "You sick bastard," she hissed, slapping Austin across the face with all her might. As soon as the elevator door opened on the top floor, the long-haired beauty dashed out towards the bathroom, leaving Austin behind. His face was hot and painful from the single slap she had given him, but he couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement at the memory of his hand on her chest. It was a moment of forbidden passion that he would never forget. Austin trailed after her and stood outside the bathroom, waiting anxiously for her to emerge. He knew he needed to apologize for whatever he had done to deserve that slap. As she emerged from the bathroom, Austin hurried forward to apologize. "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that," he said, his voice laced with sincerity. "Scram! If it wasn't for the important guests I have today, I would have you sent to the police station," she spat, not accepting Austin's apology at all. With a forceful shove, she pushed him away and hurried forward in her high heels. Staggering backwards, Austin watched as she disappeared from sight. Scratching his head in confusion, he made his way to the bathroom to tend to his throbbing nose. Once his nose had stopped bleeding, Austin made his way to room infinity, which had been arranged for his meeting with Kevin. He walked slowly, lost in thought, still reeling from the encounter with the long-haired beauty.
Episode 13, Wealthy Man's Packed Lunch.
The meeting room was already filled with people when Kevin Starks, a middle-aged man with a well-proportioned build, stood at the door talking to the general manager of the Regalia Hotel. "Are you all ready?" Kevin Starks asked. The general manager leaned forward respectfully and replied, "We've prepared everything according to your directions. The ingredients you brought for the meals were truly exceptional and set a new standard for our hotel. You must have quite the discerning palate to have sourced such precious ingredients that no one else in New York could find." Kevin paid no attention to the general manager's flattery and simply replied, "My guest is about to arrive. Please attend to your duties." As the general manager left, a long-haired beauty quickly entered the room. As soon as she saw Kevin, she walked up to him hesitantly, as if she had made a mistake. "Mr. Starks, I'm late. Sorry. Please have a seat," Kevin said, looking at her in stunned silence. "Fortunately, Austin Anderson hasn't arrived yet, or else I would have been embarrassed because of you." She sat down in silence, offering an apologetic smile. Kevin stood at the door of the private room, his expression filled with anxiety as he waited. As if on cue, Austin casually entered the room, causing Kevin to startle and quickly rush over to greet him. "Mr. Anderson, welcome," Kevin said, relieved that he had finally arrived. As Austin entered the room, everyone stood up, most of them wearing suits. They were all upper-class individuals from New York and the surrounding states. "These are all individuals who work in the North Star Division." Kevin introduced them to Austin and then turned to address the others in the room. "This is Mr. Austin Anderson," Kevin announced to the others. "Greetings, Mr. Anderson," they said in unison, acknowledging his presence in the room. "It's him," thought the long-haired beauty, her eyes widening in disbelief as she saw Austin, her entire body filled with unease and apprehension. "Did I really just shout at the family's heir in the elevator?" She wondered to herself. Austin also noticed her, and he hadn't expected to see the beautiful woman with long hair in the room. His gaze lingered on her face for a moment before he regained his composure and calmly instructed, "Everyone, please take your seats." "Mr. Anderson, please take a seat," Kevin said as he gestured towards an empty chair next to the beautiful long-haired woman. "Oh," Austin realized and walked over to the receipt, giving the long-haired beauty an indifferent glance before turning back to Kevin. He noticed the questioning look in Austin's eyes, and Kevin explained who the long-haired beauty was to him. "She's the director of North Star Division's Information Department, Emmeline Jade." Emmeline looked at Austin with a bitter and dejected smile, her sense of powerlessness evident in the way her shoulders slumped. Despite her natural optimism, she knew it was futile to try to put on a brave face in this situation, and she couldn't help but let out a hollow laugh at the irony of it all. Kevin presented a dish to Austin and said, "Mr. Anderson, I had this dish specially prepared for you. Please, do try it." "Okay." Austin picked up a mouthful of the dish and savored it for a moment before saying, "This is very tasty." As Austin indulged in the exquisite meal, he realized it had been more than 7 years since he had dined at such an upscale hotel. He couldn't help but think to himself, "This is the first time in a long while that I've tasted something so delicious." What Austin was unaware of was that the other guests, upon tasting the dishes, also had their appetites aroused and their hearts filled with longing. As a result, the banquet ended quickly. Austin indulged in the feast until his belly was completely satiated. "Mr. Anderson, would you like me to take you to the Bay Club to rest?" Kevin asked respectfully, standing by his side. It was unusual for the young heir to express gratitude, so Kevin felt compelled to serve Austin well. "The clubhouse?" Austin pondered. "There's no need," stated Austin. Emmeline was resting on the side of the room after the banquet. Upon seeing Austin's bashful expression, she couldn't help but stifle a chuckle. "Austin is so adorable," she thought to herself. Kevin acknowledged with a nod, and the rest of the group took their seats, silently gazing at Austin. Austin surveyed the dishes on the table, appearing lost in thought. He pulled out his phone to check the time. It was 2:23 p.m. "Mr. Anderson, is there something troubling you?" Kevin inquired with concern. He felt as though he had struggled to entertain Austin and may have fallen short. If word of this reached the elders, would they hold him responsible? The others also anxiously watched Austin. Inviting their young heir to a meal was no trivial matter, and the pressure was overwhelming. How could a group of elites from the North Star Division possibly entertain this young man? Austin shook his head slowly and replied, "No." Kevin was puzzled. "Then you are," he trailed off. Austin smacked his lips and turned to Kevin. "These dishes were quite delectable. I'd like to take some back for my friends to try," he said. Upon hearing Austin's words, Kevin and the others exchanged dismayed glances. They were momentarily at a loss for words. Kevin thought to himself, it's unexpected that Mr. Anderson, a rich second-generation heir, is thinking of picking up food for his roommates. Who knew he could be so considerate of his friends? While the others were surprised, they were also very impressed with Austin. Despite coming from such a wealthy family, he didn't put on airs. They believed that Austin would achieve greatness in the future. Austin, however, didn't understand their perspective. As the others gazed at him in amazement, he simply pointed to the delicious dishes on the table and spoke. "Mr. Starks, could you please help me pack up these leftovers from the table?" Kevin nodded as he snapped back to reality. "Yes, I'll do it right away," he stated. As he spoke, he walked over to the side of the room and began dialing his phone to contact the general manager and make arrangements. The general manager didn't dare to hesitate and promptly instructed the kitchen to prepare the dishes again using the ingredients that Kevin had brought. Once all the dishes were ready, the general manager added a bottle of fine wine to accompany the food. 30 minutes later, the general manager arrived at the meeting room, accompanied by 2 attendants. Each attendant carried a box in their hands. The general manager respectfully informed Mr. Starks, "Sir, the preparations have been completed." Kevin opened one of the boxes and saw that an assortment of dishes had been neatly packed into smaller containers inside. "Mr. Anderson, are you satisfied?" he asked. "This is too much food for just my 3 roommates and me. We only need 1 box. Please don't let the rest go to waste. If it can be sold, please do so. Otherwise, feel free to distribute it among your staff or enjoy it yourselves." Austin forced a smile and remarked, "I only requested 3 dishes to be prepared, yet Kevin reordered all the dishes on the table." "Permit me to offer my assistance," Kevin proposed as he picked up the box himself and proceeded to follow behind Austin. The group from the room also followed him out of the hotel. "You can all head back now. I'll just catch a taxi," said Austin, glancing at the crowd. "Mr. Anderson, I'll take you there. My vehicle is located just over there," Emmeline offered, as she motioned for her driver to accompany her. "Oh, sure," Austin agreed. As Emmeline escorted Austin off, Kevin and the rest felt relieved. After saying goodbye to Austin, they all departed. On the way to the car, Emmeline began to express her apologies to Austin. "Mr. Anderson, thank you so much for allowing me to take you back. I was the one in the elevator." She took his hand and said, "Please, would you mind slapping me a few times?" "No need, Director Jade. What are you doing?" Austin withdrew his hand and said, "I shouldn't have looked at you in the elevator. It's nothing. I'm just lucky that you saw me." "I hope you're not upset with me. I'm truly grateful." "Thank you, sir," Emmeline said as she bowed to Austin and continued speaking. "Very well, let us proceed back to the campus," Austin stated with a faint smile. "Okay, sir," Emmeline responded as they commenced their walk. Austin pulled out his cell phone and dialed his dorm mate Jake. "Where are you?" he asked. "I'm still here in Lily's hospital room," Jake responded. "They're still in Lily's room," he thought. Holding the box with freshly cooked food, he frowned slightly and asked, "What's Lily's room number? I'll head over there now." After finishing his conversation with Jake, Austin turned to Emmeline's driver and suggested, "Let's go to the private hospital. My friend is there." "Very well, sir," replied Emmeline's driver with a smile as he started the car. The interior of the vehicle was permeated with the scent of Emmeline's perfume. Austin was tempted to glance at her again, but upon meeting her gaze, he quickly averted his eyes. His face grew warm and his heart raced. He felt embarrassed. "Sir, feel free to take a good look. I won't object," Emmeline said confidently, her gentle voice carrying through the air. "I've said it before, haven't I? It's a blessing to be seen by you." Austin couldn't help but smile bashfully. Emboldened by Emmeline's words, Austin turned to openly admire her stunning figure. He blushed as they arrived at the hospital, and she caught Austin's gaze was still fixated on her. Emmeline shyly smiled in response. "Mr. Anderson, we have arrived," she said softly. "Oh, have we arrived?" Austin asked, taken aback. Regaining his composure, Austin said, "Thank you. I'll be going now." He took the food and stepped out of the car.
Episode 14. Austin's cleverly cheap food box.
As Austin held the box of food, he could feel the warmth emanating from it. He knew his dorm mates would appreciate a hot meal. With the box in hand, he made his way into the hospital room. As he pushed the door open, it let out a loud squeak. Lily Romanoff was confined to a solitary room with her left leg broken, tightly wrapped in bandages. Lily's stylishly dressed friends, except for Jake and a few others, surrounded her hospital bed with gifts of fruit baskets, chocolates, and colorful flowers nearby. As Austin walked in with a box of food, their attention turned towards him. With so many people looking at him, Austin put on a smile and asked Lily, "Are you okay?" However, Lily didn't respond and gave him a cold look, as if she wasn't pleased to see him. "What are you holding?" Lily's roommate, Azura Vesper, asked as she looked at the box in Austin's hand. "Oh, I brought some food for my friends," Austin said simply, glancing down at the box. "You're not here to bring food for Lily, are you?" Azura looked at Austin with surprise and said, "Visiting patients at the hospital with food? Even if this isn't for Lily, they would still..." Austin began to explain. As Austin was about to explain that this meal was for his roommates, Jake hurriedly walked over and patted Austin on the shoulder. With a smile to the others, Jake declared, "Austin is the real deal. We haven't eaten yet, but this meal will satisfy everyone's hunger." When Austin arrived at Lily's hospital room, he anticipated that her snobbish friends might ridicule him if he didn't bring anything with him. Although this meal was originally intended for his dorm mates, it now appeared as though it was meant for Lily. Bringing food is better than showing up empty-handed, right? Austin thought. "Haha, this is the first time I've seen someone bringing food to a patient," one person exclaimed. "I've heard of it before, but every time it's been the patient's mother who brings the food. You're still a university student, right?" remarked another person. Lily's friends began to discuss among themselves. Lily snapped, "Hey, did anyone see you come in here with that thing just now?" The idea of a classmate bringing her food was embarrassing to Lily. "I saw it," exclaimed someone. As Austin felt a bit uncomfortable, he reminded himself not to belittle his generosity by denying that the food was for her. Even if it was intended for her, he thought, it shouldn't be looked down upon, right? "You saw it? How disgraceful," Lily said, snorting and turning her head away. "Why don't we see exactly what he's given us?" Azura suggested in a straightforward manner. Having said that, she walked towards Austin and proceeded to open the box he was holding. As Lily's friends began to chat amongst themselves, one remarked, "Why bother checking out what he's brought? I've heard of this person from university. Their family is really struggling and they hardly ever eat out." Someone else chimed in, "I think I know who he is. He used to work as a delivery guy outside our university, and I've ordered takeout from him a few times. He usually delivers food from the small stalls outside the campus." "Oh, you mean those food stalls outside the university? I remember a plate of fried rice or noodles would only cost $1 or $2. Is that box filled with fried rice and noodles?" "I'm sure it was. Just by looking at him, I doubt it's anything more than cheap fried rice. Why bring this when Lily needs good food? And what if the nurses come in and see us all eating from these boxes? It's not worth more than a couple of dollars. If word gets out, we'll be the laughingstock of the hospital." Lily's friends continued their discussion, oblivious to Austin's presence. The previous evening, some of them had dined together at the Wildwood Lodge, so they were all aware of Lily's negative attitude towards Austin. Overwhelmed and speechless, Austin realized that there was no reason for him to stay any longer. Ignoring the others, he simply advised his roommates to eat their food before it got cold, then turned and left the room. Lily's disapproval was evident as she watched Jake begin to take food from the box Austin had brought. "Slow down," she cautioned with a frown, "and be careful not to eat too much." Jake felt a twinge of discomfort, but he refrained from saying anything in front of everyone. Instead, he placed the box on the floor. Just then, the door to the room swung open and someone walked in. Zephyr Hawthorne entered the room, his head and hands carefully bandaged. He took responsibility, saying, "Lily, it's all my fault. How are you? Are your injuries severe?" Lily's expression softened as she spoke. "It's nothing serious, just a minor skin injury and a small fracture. The doctor said I should be discharged after 2 days of observation. How about you?" Her cold demeanor vanished, replaced by a sweet smile. Zephyr's voice was filled with worry as he spoke. "Are you okay? You were in a coma yesterday. How are you feeling now?" "I blame myself for sitting behind you and inadvertently influencing you." Lily's demeanor towards Zephyr began to soften, and she showed him a hint of warmth. Observing the situation, Jake and the others grew uneasy as they witnessed Lily's coldness towards Austin when he walked in. The unpleasant exchange of words among the group only added to the discomfort, with no one making an effort to lighten the mood. Meanwhile, despite Zephyr being the cause of Lily's injury, she had been treating him with warmth and kindness. Lily had even taken the blame for the injury, and it was apparent to everyone that Zephyr had saved her family's company this time. Given the circumstances, it was understandable why Lily was treating Zephyr differently. While she spoke, Jake and the others could only let out a collective sigh as another woman rushed into the room. "Lily, what's wrong? How are your injuries?" the woman exclaimed in alarm, her eyes widening as she looked at Lily's leg covered with bandages. "Oh my, look at this. What did the doctor say?" As the woman spoke, she swiftly approached Lily's bedside, her features etched with worry. She donned a distinct business suit with a striking black and white striped pattern, her short hair impeccably styled, and her fair skin adorned with elegantly arched eyebrows. Lily exclaimed with a sigh of relief. "Auntie!" Her big eyes shone as she gazed at the woman, and her small hands eagerly grasped onto hers. The woman who had rushed in was none other than Lily's aunt, Celine Emberley. Despite being Lily's aunt, Celine was only 4 years older than her, making them more like sisters than aunt and niece. So, after the incident, Lily naturally called Celine for help. "The doctor reassured me that it's not a major issue. Auntie, please don't worry. I blame myself for not calling you to let you know not to come," Lily said, her tone matter-of-fact as she locked eyes with Celine. Upon hearing Lily's words, Celine heaved a sigh of relief. Her gaze fell upon Zephyr's bandaged head, and she frowned with a mixture of frustration and anger. She turned her look towards him, but her expression remained stern, showing no signs of concern. "So, you're the one who had a motorcycle accident with Lily, huh?" Celine's voice was laced with anger as she confronted Zephyr. "It rained last night, and you were riding around in the rain," she continued, her tone accusatory. "Are you that arrogant thinking you're so good on that bike? You got lucky this time that nothing serious happened. If something had, you would be fully responsible." Zephyr felt the weight of Celine's words as they landed like a punch. He coughed, his discomfort palpable, and glanced around at the others with an awkward expression. "Auntie, please don't say that to Zephyr," Lily interjected, her tone pleading. "He didn't do it on purpose. Some of our family matters were recently resolved by Zephyr's father." Lily grasped Celine's hand and leaned in to whisper, "Zephyr has been a great help to us in some of our family matters." Celine was taken aback by Lily's words and turned to look at Zephyr with a steady gaze before responding. "Lily, are you really going to defend him?" Celine was well aware of Lily's recent altercation with the man she had slapped outside the restaurant, and in her subsequent clash with the formidable Solaris Corporation group. She had been frantic with worry, and had even tried to leverage her connections to help. However, to her dismay, those connections had proven to be ineffective in the face of the overwhelming strength of the Solaris Corporation group. Later, Lily had called and informed Celine that the matter had been resolved. While Celine was relieved, it also piqued her curiosity. Who could Lily have possibly found to settle the matter in less than a day? As Celine glanced at the young man standing in front of her, she couldn't help but wonder, was it him? However, no matter how Celine looked at it, something didn't quite add up, and it left her feeling uneasy. "Auntie," Lily said with a hint of displeasure in her voice as she cast a sidelong glance at Celine. "You shouldn't question Zephyr like that, Auntie. His company is actually quite large, and his father even had a meal with President Montgomery. Helping us out is nothing for him. You're being rude, Auntie." Celine shook her head in disagreement. "Silly girl, you don't understand how things work," she retorted. "Do you know the status of the president of the market union? It's not something you can just influence by having a couple of meals. It's not as simple as you think." Celine, who was much more mature than Lily and had prior experience with the market union, understood that it was not as straightforward as her niece thought. She had learned from her own past dealings with the union that it was a complex and intricate network. "Ma'am, I understand your family was in a bind, so I asked my father to help." Zephyr spoke up with a hint of frustration. Celine had embarrassed him a lot, and he continued, "When your family was clueless, I came through for you big time. Yet you still treat me with the same attitude. Don't you feel ashamed?" Celine's anger flared up in response to Zephyr's words. "I'm just stating the facts, Zephyr," she retorted with a dark expression. "It's not an easy feat to get President Montgomery to take action." Zephyr's expression showed slight surprise as he pulled out his phone. He glanced at Celine with a confident smile and said, "You still don't believe me. Fine, I'll call my dad right now and confirm it in front of you and Lily, okay?" Zephyr dialed his father's number with a confident sneer on his face. "Hey Dad, let me ask you something. Yesterday I told you to help Rose with her family's matter. Didn't you go to look for President Montgomery?" he asked casually, as if to prove a point. This matter, I forgot to tell you about it, my son," Zephyr's father replied. "I went to look for him yesterday, but President Montgomery's secretary said that he couldn't see me. It's just that President Montgomery was too busy at work and didn't have time to talk, so I left a message in the end," he told Zephyr. Zephyr's father was unaware of the situation and truthfully revealed what had happened. Zephyr felt a twinge of panic and his face flushed with embarrassment. He realized that his father wasn't the reason behind the supposed connection with President Montgomery.
Episode 15. Unveiling Austin's food box.
The previous day, Lily Romanoff had expressed her gratitude, believing that her problems were resolved because of Zephyr Hawthorne's assistance. She had credited President Asher Montgomery's help, which led Zephyr to confidently believe that it was indeed his father's influence that had made it possible. He had no doubt in his mind about this. Zephyr hung up the phone after speaking with his father. He turned his gaze towards Lily's aunt and felt a flicker of unease in his eyes, but he quickly composed himself. "I've checked with my dad," Zephyr said, his voice steady. "It was my dad who called President Montgomery yesterday. We managed to solve this problem." "Auntie, you really need to stop being so suspicious of Zephyr," Lily said, her eyes showing a hint of complaint. She looked at Zephyr and smiled sweetly. "As I told you earlier, it's clear that Zephyr helped us out, but you're still so wary of him." She then turned to Celine and added, "Don't blame my aunt. She's just overly cautious sometimes." "Of course, don't worry," Zephyr replied, his smile genuine. Celine seemed to be in doubt, wanting to confirm things on her own. But just then, her focus shifted away from Zephyr. "Girl, I rushed to see you without even having lunch. I'm starving," Celine said, rubbing her stomach. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even ask if you've eaten." "All right, my friends haven't eaten either. Let me order some takeout for all of us," Lily said to Celine, glancing at her friends who had been with her all morning. "Sounds good," Celine replied. "We can order takeout, but I'm really hungry now." The others chimed in agreement. "Hey, what's this?" Celine noticed a box of food on the floor and walked over to investigate. "Auntie, please don't touch that box. It's just some food, not worth much, only a few dollars worth of takeout," Lily said with a frown. "I was planning to give it to the cleaners later to feed the cat. Even if it's only a few dollars, we shouldn't just throw it away like that. And I'm starving. Let's have a quick bite before we order takeout," Celine said as she opened the box, revealing a rich aroma emanating from inside. "It's making my mouth water," said one friend eagerly. "I can't resist that aroma," said another, inhaling deeply. "I'm dying to know what's in there," said yet another with anticipation. The room was filled with excitement as everyone gathered around the boxes of food, eagerly awaiting the revelation. "Wow!" Celine gasped as she held the bottle of Cognac Brugerol, $17.95. "This is one of the most expensive cognacs in the world. Its price is more than $140,000. I can't believe someone gifted you this. Are you kidding me, Auntie?" Lily looked at Celine in disbelief. She couldn't imagine the connection between Austin Anderson and a $140,000 bottle of Cognac Brugerol. Celine opened the bottle and took a whiff, then looked at Lily with joy. "I'm absolutely serious. I've sipped this cognac once before when I was on a business trip in France. It tastes exactly like this," she said. The remaining individuals had already started opening the boxes individually, releasing a captivating fragrance that quickly permeated the entire room. "Look at this!" exclaimed Celine as she gazed into the box. "These are opulent ocean treasure. Golden giant squid carpaccio with saffron essence, zesty lemon, and edible gold leaf." The others exchanged puzzled glances, intrigued by the luxurious-sounding dish. "What is that?" they inquired. Their curiosity piqued as they looked around at each other in confusion. Indulge in the world's finest. Opulent ocean treasure golden squid carpaccio with saffron, lemon, and edible gold leaf is a luxurious dish that elevates your dining experience. Featuring tender slices of golden squid infused with fragrant saffron, zinged up with tangy lemon, and adorned with edible gold leaf, this dish embodies gourmet indulgence, offering a truly exquisite and unparalleled culinary treat. Celine continued excitedly, I often dine with guests for work, and I'm familiar with renowned ingredients like this. This is Miyazaki Wagyu beef, she exclaimed, peering back into the box with admiration. Look, this is Miyazaki Wagyu beef from Japan's Miyazaki Prefecture. It's prized for its exceptional marbling, tenderness, and rich flavor, with a melt-in-your-mouth texture. It's one of the world's most expensive beef varieties due to its high quality and strict production standards, she went on. This is exquisite truffle butter glazed sea bass. Celine pulled out more delicacies and a succulent lobster tail. Celine is astounded. Her surprises continued as they unveiled more luxurious food items. Oh my, these dishes are crafted with exceptional ingredients of the highest quality. The flavors and the prices are truly extraordinary, surpassing those of an average restaurant. To have access to such rare and exquisite ingredients from around the world is simply awe-inspiring. I'm really amazed by the exceptional culinary from this box, unlike anything I've experienced even in the most upscale of establishments. Celine's eyes lit up with excitement and wonder. Are you teasing us, Auntie? We've never tasted these exquisite delicacies before. Lily's disbelief was evident as she knew Celine was experienced and knowledgeable, but she found it hard to believe that Austin would bring such expensive food. Lily, do you really think your aunt is joking? Celine asked, looking at Lily in disbelief. The food is still hot. Let's start eating before it gets cold and loses its flavor. It's so tasty, one friend remarked. The scent is incredible. I've never had anything this delicious, said another. After finishing their meals, everyone in the room couldn't help but compliment the food. You should try some too, Lily, Susan said as she offered Lily a piece of Miyazaki Wagyu beef and tasted it. The flavor was beyond words. It surpassed any steak she had ever had before. The food was simply irresistible, and since everyone was hungry, the boxes were emptied in no time. I never expected someone would gift you such amazing dishes, Celine said with a satisfied smile as she checked her watch. It's getting late. I should head back. With that, she walked to the door and turned to Lily before leaving. Lily, only someone wealthy could afford to give you such a rare and costly gift. These delicacies aren't something that can be enjoyed simply by having some money. Lily pondered to herself, could Austin be considered a rich person? After Celine left, Azura approached Lily and said, It seems you may have misunderstood Austin. I think it would be a good idea to find some time to apologize to him. Me? Apologize? Lily asked in disbelief. She was at a loss for words, but her dislike for Austin remained. Why should I apologize to him? How could someone like him, who isn't wealthy, afford such expensive food? I bet he works at a hotel and brought back leftovers from someone else's meal. What? Azura didn't expect Lily to say that. These dishes were intact. How could they be packaged? Besides, how could a hotel let employees walk away with a $140,000 bottle of Cognish Brugerol $17.95? Thought Azura. Some of Lily's classmates and friends left the hospital after the meal. Jake and the others kept asking Austin, so he told a white lie about working at a fancy hotel in the city. His boss felt bad for him and gave him a box of food. Still, they couldn't believe what Austin told them. Austin didn't say anything else, so they had to give up. After the afternoon class ended, Austin joined the crowd of students exiting the building. Suddenly, he heard a girl's voice calling out his name from behind him. Austin, she exclaimed. You haven't watched my live stream yet, have you? Austin turned around to face her. It was Amy Davidson, the girl who ran the live stream that Austin and his dorm mates had been watching for days. I've already streamed twice and I haven't seen you in the streaming room. Hurry up and register an account so you can help me increase my popularity, she said, pouting as she looked at Austin in dissatisfaction. Amy, why bother trying to get his attention? You can't possibly be interested in him, right? Teased the girl beside Amy with a mischievous grin. I just wanted him to help me increase my popularity, Amy said, lowering her head slightly. She whispered, "Why would I fall in love with him? Stop joking with me," with a hint of annoyance in her voice. Olivia, Austin's ex, walked over from the back and said with a casual tone, "There's no difference whether you have him or not. I've heard he definitely won't help you, as he's known for being stingy." Olivia's got a point. What's the use of having fans who won't help others? Another girl chimed in from beside Austin. Amy glanced at Austin as the girls chatted with each other. Last time that Mogul and Amy livestream blog was too awesome. He'd gift Amy on top of what others had given. That guy was no ordinary mogul. That's right. I couldn't believe it either. Amy, as a new streamer, made it to rank 100 yesterday. It's incredible how quickly her channel is growing. She's definitely destined for big things. Amy, don't forget your good sister. The girls surrounding Austin were vying for Amy's attention, showering her with flattery and making her the center of their focus. Olivia, who used to be almost as popular as Amy among the girls, felt uneasy as she stood off to the side. She couldn't help but notice how she was being ignored now, and it made her feel uncomfortable. Olivia's heart pounded with a mix of curiosity and frustration. What's the catch? Isn't Amy just using flirtatious tactics on her live stream to attract moguls and gain their assistance? If I did a live stream, would those same moguls still be there to support her? At that moment, a sleek black BMW glided to a stop in front of the building. Envious glances from passing students were drawn to the luxury car. The car came to a stop and the casually dressed young man stepped out. Olivia's surprise was evident as she exclaimed, "Vincent Sterling!" upon recognizing the boy. "Vincent, I'm here!" Olivia exclaimed, waving her hand as she ran towards him with a bright smile on her face. Vincent and Olivia shared a brief kiss, drawing attention from onlookers. Vincent then gestured for Olivia to enter the car, and they drove away slowly. Olivia noticed envious gazes from other students as they passed by. She felt a sense of satisfaction knowing that driving a car in university was a luxury few could afford. Olivia felt she had gained admiration from others. It was a good choice to give up on Austin. That poor loser, Olivia thought to herself as she sat comfortably inside the luxurious car with her new boyfriend Vincent. I would have never imagined being in a car like this with Austin. And today, as they even kissed in front of Austin, Olivia felt an overwhelming sense of satisfaction. Austin, open your eyes and see the kind of life I have after leaving you. It's 100 times better than being with you, she thought unkindly to herself.
Episode 16, A Clash at Table 223.
Olivia's curiosity got the best of her as she gazed at Vincent. "Where are we headed, darling?" she asked. Vincent's smile widened, and Olivia couldn't help but notice how attractive he looked. "It's a surprise," he replied, keeping one hand on the steering wheel while his other hand moved to rest on her thigh, his touch sending a shiver down her spine as he started to gently rub it. Olivia realized that dating him boosted her social standing due to his popularity with other girls. However, as his hand rested on her thigh, Olivia stole a glance at it but remained quiet. Eventually, they came to a halt in front of a restaurant. "Wow, Uncle Mugen's restaurant? Is this really where we're eating, darling?" she exclaimed, her eyes widening in disbelief. Uncle Mugen's restaurant was one of the most renowned restaurants in the country. "Are you surprised? Don't worry, I made a reservation. Let's go inside," he said with a smile, holding her left hand. He had spent a lot of money on a table at the restaurant, more than he could really afford. It was known to be expensive, not exactly student-friendly, but he wanted to see Olivia happy. As soon as they entered, a young waitress came over to greet them with a smile. "Hello, welcome to Uncle Mugen's restaurant. Do you have a reservation?" He blushed and gave them an apologetic smile. It's my first day here, and I'm still learning the ropes." "No problem," Vincent said, flashing a smile. "I have a reservation under Sterling." The waitress nodded and responded, "Ah, Mr. Sterling. Your table code is 223. Follow me, please." She gestured for them to follow as she led the way. As they reached the table, looking around, Vincent and Olivia were more than satisfied with their surroundings. "Oh, this is lovely," Olivia said. Muggins' restaurant was renowned for its unique and exquisite cuisine, featuring luxurious and rare ingredients. With skilled chefs crafting culinary masterpieces, Muggins had earned a reputation as a go-to destination for exceptional dining experiences, attracting food enthusiasts from far and wide. As they settled into their seats, a small group of musicians approached their table, playing a cello and a violin, accompanied by a soulful singer. Olivia felt a sense of joy, as if she were a princess in a fairy tale, mesmerized by the enchanting atmosphere. "Thank you, darling. This is amazing," Olivia exclaimed, recalling how her ex, Austin, had always taken her to budget-friendly places. She was grateful to have moved on from that relationship and was now enjoying a wonderful moment at Muggins' restaurant. Excited by the wonderful experience, Olivia pulled out her phone and started recording herself. "Come on, get in the shot with me, darling," she said, motioning to her companion. They recorded themselves, making sure to capture the stunning surroundings of the restaurant in the background. Later, Olivia posted the video on social media, mentioning their location at Muggins' restaurant. Within minutes, someone commented, "Wow, Muggins' restaurant! That's amazing, Olivia!" "I've always wanted to dine at Muggins. So jealous," said another person. The third person remarked, "Looks like you're being treated like royalty." In just a few minutes of posting the video, the flood of reactions and comments warmed Olivia's heart with pride. It confirmed her decision to leave Austin, knowing she would have missed out on the experience of dining at Uncle Muggins' restaurant if she had stayed with him. When Austin saw the video posted by Olivia with Vincent at Uncle Muggins' restaurant, he felt a twinge of sadness. However, he mostly felt sorry for Olivia because he knew the truth about Vincent's character. It seemed like Olivia didn't know what she was getting into. Austin couldn't understand why she would choose to be with someone like Vincent. In his eyes, it was a foolish decision. After all, Vincent only drove a BMW, while Austin owned a luxurious Rolls-Royce. Still thinking about her? A woman's voice interrupted his thoughts. Austin turned his head to see Bella standing beside him. He hadn't even noticed her arrival. "No, she's not worth thinking about," he said with a faint smile. "Well said. She doesn't deserve your attention. After all, she gave up on a great man like you for someone like Vincent." Bella shook her head, her eyes sparkling as she looked at Austin. "Let's go. I'll treat you. We can go wherever you want," Bella said enthusiastically. Her words reminded him of the promise he had made to buy her a meal, but he had been too busy lately to fulfill it. "No, I'll treat you this time," he said, feeling guilty. "How about we go to Uncle Muggins' restaurant?" "Austin, I understand if you want to keep up appearances after your recent heartbreak," she said, smiling at him. She knew that Uncle Muggins' restaurant was a place where students might not be able to afford to dine. "Trust me," Austin said dismissively, not wanting to explain himself. They hailed a taxi and headed to Uncle Muggins' restaurant. Upon arrival, Austin took her hand and led her towards the entrance. Bella's anxiety grew as they kept walking near the entrance of the restaurant. "Austin, I don't think we should be here," she said, her voice filled with unease. "We're out of place." Austin flashed her a confident smile and responded, "Relax, Bella. I'm treating you, remember? We'll be just fine, I promise." As they entered the room, a wave of unease washed over her. Her legs turned to jelly and her nerves were on edge. "Excuse me," she said hastily. "I need to use the bathroom." "Sure, I'll accompany you," he offered. Bella made her way into the women's restroom while Austin headed towards to wash his hands. As he was about to leave, he noticed Olivia and Vincent approaching, with Olivia trying to clean a stain off her skirt in a hurry as they made their way towards the bathroom. She hadn't expected to see Austin. "What are you doing here?" she asked in surprise. Austin stared at her, his expression unreadable. "Olivia." He said her name slowly, as if testing it on his tongue. Vincent, who had been standing nearby, stepped forward with a scowl. "Did you just dare to speak to Olivia?" he demanded, his voice sharp with anger. This time, he was determined to make sure Austin listened to him. "I'm telling you for the last time," he said angrily. "Don't even mention her name or think about her." Austin ignored him and walked away, showing no signs of acknowledging the warning. Olivia rolled her eyes and stuck out her foot, tripping Austin and causing him to stumble into the wall. She smirked as she looked right at him. "You," Austin said with a glare as he straightened up. She giggled. Well, you deserve it, Olivia taunted. Austin didn't want to get into a fight with them. I don't want any trouble, he thought, feeling frustrated. Why can't they just let me leave? As Austin tried to move around them, Olivia nudged Vincent with her shoulder and tilted her head toward Austin, silently signaling for Vincent to block his path. You want to leave? Vincent asked with a smirk. Not so fast. Call me sir, and I might let you go. Olivia sneered at Austin, her tone filled with disdain. You snuck in, loser. You don't belong here, she taunted. I'll call security to throw you out. She smirked at the idea of Austin having to call Vincent sir to be let go. Bullying Austin brought her joy. It was all fun for her. Austin seethed with anger. They've already won, he thought, frustration welling up inside him, and yet they won't leave me alone. Bella emerged from the bathroom just in time to overhear Olivia's words. Hey, cut it out, she interjected, her tone incredulous. What did we ever do to you? Who gave you the right to call security on us? She confronted Olivia, her face reflecting a mix of surprise and indignation. Olivia sneered at them. Oh, look who decided to show up, she scoffed. A couple of losers, I see. She eyed them disdainfully. What makes you think you can just stroll in here? This isn't a fast food chain, you know. I could have you removed. Her words were filled with condescension and a sense of entitlement. Bella was shocked by Olivia's hostility, leaving her at a loss for words. She realized that Austin's joke about eating there was inappropriate. Now she just wanted to leave, as she didn't expect to encounter Olivia and Vincent and couldn't tolerate their behavior any longer. Bella didn't know what to do, but she knew they should leave as soon as possible. Bella grabbed Austin's hand and urged, Austin, let's go. Vincent blocked their way, sneering, You really think you can just sneak away? Olivia joined in, loudly proclaiming, These people use the toilet without being customers. Where's the manager? Where's the manager? Olivia's shouts caught the attention of all the customers in the restaurant. Hey, look at these two, she continued. They snuck in here just to use the toilets without even buying anything to eat. Should we allow that? Some customers in the restaurant started to cheer Olivia on. This place should keep out the riffraff. How can these people just walk in and use the toilet? She exclaimed. Why couldn't they just use a public toilet? Did they really want to use a fancy one for free? Olivia exclaimed, shaking her head in disdain. It's shameful. Maybe they're even planning to hide and sleep in a corner, hoping no one would notice. The manager finally arrived, and Olivia quickly approached him, pointing at Austin and Bella. Her tone was sharp as she demanded, What are you going to do about this? If anyone can just walk in and use the toilets, your establishment will get a terrible reputation. The manager responded with a polite smile, saying, Please wait a moment. He then turned to Austin and said, I'm sorry, sir, but you need to leave now. The facilities are for customers only. Bella said softly, Austin, let's leave. She blushed as she noticed everyone's gaze on them, feeling embarrassed. Austin's grip on her arm stopped her from leaving. No, we're staying, he declared firmly. Olivia's voice grew louder again. The manager has asked you to leave, and yet you're still here. You have no shame. Are you intentionally trying to ruin our meal and destroy the reputation of Uncle Mugen's restaurant? The manager frowned as he believed Austin was causing trouble. Sir, please leave now, or I'll have to call security, he said sternly. Olivia's eyes sparkled with delight as she anticipated watching Austin being escorted away by security guards. Austin looked calmly at the manager and said, Actually, I have a reservation. Olivia gaped at Austin in surprise and then burst into laughter. You've booked a table here, she exclaimed, finding it amusing. What a joke, she thought to herself. If someone like Austin could eat at Uncle Mugen's restaurant, it would ruin the exclusivity of this place. I know, he's just trying to get back at me, but he's only making a fool of himself. I can't wait to see him fail miserably. It's going to be so much fun to watch. Olivia eagerly anticipated the embarrassment that would surely befall Austin as the manager challenged him. All eyes were on them, curious to see how it would unfold. Austin's attire didn't seem to match the standard of a reservation at Uncle Mugen's restaurant, adding to the anticipation of what would happen next. Sir, I urge you not to cause a scene. If you refuse to leave, I'm afraid I'll have to call for security, he said, lifting his phone, clearly about to summon security. Bella's heart raced with worry as she frantically tried to think of a way out of the situation. However, as a poor student, she felt powerless and realized there was nothing she could do. "I have a reservation for table code 223, Austin said calmly, maintaining his composure. "If you don't believe me, you can check." With that, Austin took out his phone and showed the manager the confirmation text of his reservation. "You've booked table code 223? Olivia asked, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "What a coincidence. We also booked table code 223. Ha ha, isn't that interesting?" She burst out laughing, clearly trying to taunt Austin. Austin must have forged a message from the restaurant before he came here, Olivia thought, her disbelief turning into suspicion. Imagine pretending to have a reservation and managing to pick the same table code as we have. The manager took Austin's phone, checked it, and then smiled as he returned the phone. His tone now respectful as he said, "I apologize for the misunderstanding, sir. It was our mistake. I'll personally escort you to your table."
Episode 17. The Fake Crypto Price Surge. Olivia was completely taken aback, her eyes wide with shock. "No, you must have misunderstood," she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. "The text message must be a fake." Vincent showed his cell phone to the manager to prove the confirmation of his reservation. "The table code we booked is 223, he said. The manager checked Vincent's phone. "I'm sorry, but yes, you have the same table code as Mr. Anderson, but your table is in the general section, while Mr. Anderson's table is in the VIP section." "Are you kidding me?" Olivia exclaimed, staring at the manager in surprise. "This poor loser is in the VIP section." Austin couldn't even afford to eat in the university cafeteria, so the fact that he had a prime table at Uncle Mugen's restaurant was unbelievable to her. In an effort to make up for his mistake, the manager personally escorted Austin and Bella to their table. However, upon reaching table 223, the manager's frown deepened. The table had been reserved, but it wasn't ready. Dirty dishes were still there and untouched. "With your permission, may I request a brief moment of your patience?" the manager said with a formal tone, his expression grave as he bowed down slightly and gestured for a waitress to approach. "Why hasn't the table here been cleared yet?" the manager exclaimed. "The guests at this table have already arrived and have been waiting for a while." "I saw them go to the bathroom," the waitress said, frowning. "What do you mean?" the manager said angrily as he indicated Austin and Bella. "These are the guests who reserved this table, so who have you been serving here?" The waitress flushed with embarrassment. "I'm so sorry, sir. I'll go check what's going on." With that, she hurriedly fled. "Hey, you two poor losers, what are you doing here at our table?" Olivia asked as she walked over with Vincent. The manager asked politely, "Have you been eating at this table?" Olivia looked puzzled and responded, "Yes, why? What's the issue?" The waitress returned with a younger colleague. "Sir, she served the wrong customer at this table," he explained. The waitress lowered her head and said, "Sir, I'm really sorry. It's my first shift and I'm not yet familiar with the seating plan. The customer at this table had a reservation for table code 223, and I accidentally brought them to the VIP section instead of the general section." The manager looked at Vincent and Olivia. "I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Would you mind moving to the general section? Our VIP guests have been waiting for a while," he said politely. Olivia's mouth hung open in shock as she thought to herself, "Is he really expecting me to move for this poor loser?" "No, absolutely not. That's completely unacceptable," she declared firmly, crossing her arms to emphasize her refusal. The manager hesitated, clearly struggling with the dilemma. Are you sure you still want to eat here at the VIP section?" he asked tentatively. Of course we want to eat here, she snapped, her glare fixed stubbornly on him. We've already refused to go anywhere else. All right, but just to clarify, a VIP table is significantly more expensive than a regular table, more than 10 times higher in price to be precise, he replied. So be it. We're already here. Cost is not a concern for us, she sneered, seeming unconcerned. Of course, she wasn't the one who would be paying for the table, but she was determined not to let Austin steal the limelight. You had to come and play the big man, didn't you, Austin? She thought. Well, now I've taken your place. You're not so important anymore, are you? Excuse me, Vincent interjected, feeling a little nervous. Just how much more expensive is the VIP table, to be exact? The food you've ordered will cost approximately $10,000. In addition, there will be a $1,000 reservation fee, $1,500 for the VIP room, $2,000 for the musicians, and $1,900 for the special tableware. All in all, the total cost will be around $16,400. Olivia, let's just go sit in the general section, he whispered to her. I don't want to move, Olivia said firmly, her jaw set. This table is perfect, and I'm not going to let Austin push us around. If you want to stay, fine. Stay here by yourself because I'm leaving now, Vincent said through gritted teeth, his anger palpable. He knew he didn't have enough money to stay, and he refused to be humiliated by the situation. Vincent stormed out, leaving Olivia standing alone in the middle of the restaurant with her mouth hanging open. She felt a sudden wave of panic wash over her as she looked around and realized that she was completely on her own. Olivia felt a wave of embarrassment wash over her as she realized she didn't even have a quarter of the cost for the VIP table. The stares of the other patrons made her feel even more self-conscious. She glared at Austin and quickly made her way after Vincent. The waitress cleared the table at the manager's request, and then he invited Austin and Bella to take their seats. Various exquisite dishes were brought to the table, and the musicians returned to perform for them. Another waitress stood nearby, ready to fetch whatever they wanted. Olivia and Vincent decided to stay at the restaurant, despite the awkward situation. They didn't want to miss the chance to dine at Uncle Mugen, so they moved to a regular table, code 223. From their new spot, they had a clear view of Austin and Bella in the VIP section, and they couldn't help but notice how lavish their table was compared to theirs. Olivia felt jealous watching Austin and Bella enjoy the VIP treatment while she sat in the general section. She barely touched her meal, feeling confused and unable to enjoy it. Eating in the VIP section would cost at least $16,000. Even if Olivia and Vincent combined their money, they still couldn't afford it. Why was Austin so calm? Shouldn't he be panicking? Where on earth could he have gotten that kind of money? Olivia thought to herself. In the VIP section, Bella was just as confused. Wondering what was going on, she asked Austin doubtfully. Do you have enough money to pay for this table? Relax, he said with a faint smile. I promise not to embarrass you. May I know where you got the money from? She asked again, knowing that Austin couldn't even afford to eat at the university cafeteria. Austin didn't expect Bella to ask this, so he thought for a moment before saying, I invest in crypto. I got lucky when the price surged, and I made a profit of $200,000, he explained with a faint smile. Revealing the truth would cause far too much trouble, and as a billionaire, he couldn't risk their friendship by explaining who he really was. Her frown deepened as she thought about the cost of the VIP table. You spent over $16,000 on this meal, Austin. That's a crazy amount of money to spend on food, she said with concern. You need to be more careful with your finances, or you'll run out of money before you know it. It's all right. Money comes and goes, he said nonchalantly. You're a good friend, and I take care of my friends. I promised to bring you here, and here we are. Bella felt touched by his words, finding him rather charming. After finishing their meal, Austin paid the bill and they left. Olivia and Vincent left earlier. Vincent had planned to take Olivia to dinner and spend time together, but after embarrassing himself, he no longer felt like hanging out with her. Instead, he left her at the female dormitory entrance and went off alone. After returning to his dorm room, Austin lay on his bed, his thoughts drifting back to his time with Bella at Uncle Mugen. He couldn't help but remember how Olivia had been watching him with a strange expression, causing a half smile to twitch at the corner of his mouth. He had been ready to give Olivia everything while they were together, but now he was surprised to find himself relieved that she had made a fool of herself. She wasn't worth occupying his thoughts anymore. This is just the start, he thought. From now on, Olivia, you can do as you please. I no longer care. Back in her dorm room, sitting on her bed, Olivia's mind was consumed by a single question. How could Austin afford to eat at Uncle Mugen's restaurant? Is he secretly rich? She decided to set aside her pride and ask Bella. Opening the door to Bella's dormitory, she found herself in the midst of a conversation about Bella's recent dinner at Uncle Mugen's restaurant. Everyone appeared envious. "Hey, Olivia," one of the girls exclaimed. "I saw your social media posts about Uncle Mugen. Did you see Bella there?" Olivia felt a bit awkward. She had indeed gone to Uncle Mugen and seen Bella, but the encounter didn't go well. She didn't want to explain the embarrassing situation, so she evaded the question and turned to Bella. "Bella, can we talk outside for a moment? I need to ask you something." Bella reluctantly followed Olivia out of the dormitory. "Bella, was it Austin's idea to have dinner at Uncle Morgan?" Olivia asked directly. "Yes. Why? Does it matter?" Bella shrugged nonchalantly. Olivia was surprised by the response. "But where did he get the money?" Knowing that Austin was not well off, she couldn't fathom how he could afford such an expensive meal. "Why do you care?" Bella narrowed her eyes, curious about Olivia's sudden interest. "Oh, Bella, don't be so sensitive," Olivia replied, trying to ease the tension. "I'm Austin's ex-girlfriend. Can't I still care about him, even just a little?" She forced a smile and engaged in a friendly conversation, as if they were on good terms. As they continued talking, Bella gradually warmed up to Olivia once more. After a brief pause, Bella reluctantly replied, "Well, he invested in crypto, got lucky, and made a profit of $200,000. "He made a profit of $200,000. Olivia's jaw dropped. She never expected Austin to be so lucky. "Olivia, what's going through your mind?" Bella asked, concerned. "Austin is in a tough financial situation, and this money will help him alleviate some of the pressure. Don't even consider taking his money." "Oh, come on, Bella. Don't be ridiculous. I would never stoop so low as to steal his money," Olivia replied with a smirk. "Ha! I'll simply let him willingly hand it over to me." Episode 18. Olivia's Shady Plan.
The next afternoon, Austin had a vacancy, so he decided to visit the school laboratory to check on his friend instead. Before entering the laboratory, he heard someone calling his name. "Austin!" He was so familiar with this voice. As he turned around, he saw Olivia standing there wearing the striped dress that he had bought for her the previous year. Olivia felt victorious as she observed his expression. Everything was unfolding just as she had anticipated. She casually walked towards him wearing a gentle smile. "Does this outfit look good on me?" He was briefly stunned, then asked, "What do you want?" She pouted, not liking his tone. "What?" she asked, her voice filled with surprise. "We were good together, weren't we? So why are you being so cold now?" She looked into his eyes, trying to appear sad. She reached out to tug at him, hoping for the usual response that had worked in the past. However, this time, he shrugged her off, meeting her with indifference. "If there's nothing else, I'll be going," he said, and with that, he continued to enter the laboratory. Austin left her standing frozen on the spot. He had always treated her like something precious, but now he seemed to not care at all. The change in him was startling. Anger flooded her mind as she thought, "Damn you, Austin! I refuse to believe that you've fallen out of love with me so quickly." She followed Austin into the lab and sharply shouted, "Hey!" Her voice instantly grabbed the attention of everyone present in the laboratory. "Austin, have you forgotten gratitude? Last year, I had numerous wealthy and influential men pursuing me, but I chose to be with you. Despite settling for meals in simple cafeterias and at roadside stands, I gave up everything for us. And now, you repay me by heartlessly abandoning me? Are you ashamed of me?" Speaking in her loud voice, she concluded her speech and then adopted a pitiful expression, as if she had been cast aside by the love of her life. The students inside the laboratory were all fascinated by her words, and they turned to stare at Austin. "Unbelievable," muttered someone. "She treated you so well, and now you've abandoned her." Another person shouted, "You should be ashamed!" A few male students gathered around her, offering comfort and support. "Why waste your time on someone like him?" one of them asked. "You deserve so much better. Don't let him bring you down." Another guy agreed, "He's not worth your distress." Austin couldn't understand what Olivia was trying to do. Her claims just weren't true. There weren't any rich and powerful people chasing after her before they started dating. Yes, he may have been poor, but he always treated her well. He was respectful and never pushed her for anything. Two girls walked up to him, and one of them remarked, "Austin, you were lucky to have such a good girlfriend." "You'll regret letting her go," remarked another student. "Take her back or you'll find yourself the hottest topic on campus." Olivia took hold of his hand tightly, as if afraid he might leave her. "Thank you, but we're okay," she said to the other students who promptly left. "What are you trying to accomplish?" Austin demanded as they walked through the school. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't seem to shake her off. "You made $200,000 from crypto?" She glanced at him briefly. "Yeah, I did. But that's not relevant to you," he calmly pointed out, as he thought to himself. "But that's why she's suddenly interested in me." A wry smile formed on his lips. She should have known, he mused. Olivia was taken aback by Austin's sudden coldness. "Don't say that," she said, her smile feeling a little forced. "We've shared so many beautiful memories together. When we were together, I would have given you every last cent of my money without a second thought. But now, I've learned my lesson," he said with a hint of wisdom in his voice. "So thank you for helping me understand that no matter how much I gave you, it never would have been enough," he added, his voice filled with a newfound realization. Seeing her shocked expression, a slight sense of relief washed over his heart. He opened his mouth, but words eluded him. With a lingering uncertainty, he chose to walk away silently. Olivia's heart sank with disappointment. It was too much to bear. If she had broken up with Austin just a few days later, she would have had the $200,000 all to herself. As she watched him leave, anxiety filled her. If she missed this chance, she might never have another opportunity, and his money would be completely out of her grasp. "Austin!" she shouted, determined to fight for that money no matter what. He stopped, and Olivia rushed to him, hugging him from behind. "Something feels different about you, Austin. You seem distant," she said in a soft voice. "I didn't want to hurt you, but I have to confess something. I was the one who ended things between us, thinking it was for your own good." "For my own good?" he said, his voice filled with disbelief. He was momentarily taken aback, fighting back a laugh. "Damn it," he thought. "She actually believes breaking up with me was for my own good." As she held on to him tightly, she explained, "I did it for your own good. When we were together, I saw how you tirelessly worked multiple jobs to buy me gifts and take me out to nice meals. I felt guilty and didn't want to be a burden to you anymore, so I decided to end things." "Is that so?" he questioned, raising an eyebrow. He couldn't help but think, that's quite a convenient reason to end our relationship. Inwardly, he wondered, could there be some truth behind her words? "Don't you trust me?" she asked, maintaining a serious expression. Austin stayed silent, and she sensed that she was making progress. But it's different now, she continued. With your newfound wealth, we can have everything we desire without you having to struggle so much. It'll be a better life for both of us, she said, looking at him with hopeful eyes. I had good intentions when I made that decision. It wasn't about the money, she explained sincerely. I care about you more than anything and didn't want to see you struggle. But things have changed now, and we can have a better life together. He looked into her eyes, searching for the truth. Is it really about me, or is it just because of the money? He asked, uncertain. She held his gaze firmly. The money doesn't matter to me. It's you that I care about, she assured. Leaving you was tough, and I regret it. I promise to stand by your side, even if you have nothing. Please, let me be with you again. Austin was momentarily taken aback, memories of their past flooding his mind as he gently took hold of her hand. Olivia felt the warmth of his touch, a soft smile spreading across her face. I honestly thought you didn't want me anymore, she said. Gazing at her beautiful face, Austin wished to be with her forever. If she genuinely wanted to be with him, he would treat her just as well as before. Olivia, let me transfer some money to you, Austin said, pulling out his phone and preparing to send funds to her account. No need, she smiled. As I told you, it's not about the money. Keep it. If I need anything, I'll let you know. Austin trusted her completely, so there was no need for money right now. Opportunities would arise in the future. As they strolled on campus, a girl with a ponytail approached Austin. Hello, we're from a local charity, she said. We're raising funds for underprivileged children from a nearby village. Their lives are really tough. Would you be willing to help them? Sure, I'd like to donate. Can I do it through my phone? Austin asked. Absolutely, just use this code. The girl provided him with the necessary information. Thank you so much. This money will make a significant difference in the lives of the most impoverished children in the region. Austin swiftly arranged the payment on his phone, and Olivia leaned in trying to catch a glimpse of the donation amount. However, he had already finished. The voice of the announcer resonated through the charity event. Wow, we've just received a generous donation of $180,000. The crowd was left speechless, taken aback by the remarkable amount. The donation stood out, overshadowing the smaller contributions of $20 to $1,000 made by other students. Curiosity filled the air as everyone wondered who the generous donor could be, considering the significant sum had the potential to support the education of numerous students. It was you! Exclaimed the girl with the ponytail, realizing the truth as she looked at Austin. You donated $180,000? Yes, I simply wanted to help local kids, Austin shrugged, nonchalant. The surrounding students gathered, staring at him as if he were a celebrity. What's your name? The girl asked, reaching for a pen and paper to write down his details. Forget it, he replied. It's not a big deal. With those words, the students around him sighed in admiration. This man is incredibly generous. Could he secretly be wealthy? While it may not have been a fortune for some, typically, when someone made such a substantial donation, they wanted everyone to know about it. Let's go, Olivia, Austin said, casting a quick glance at her. Did you just donate all of your money? A pained expression crossed her face. Her heart sank upon hearing the donation announcement, freezing her in shock. Yes, he moved closer. You said you'd be with me regardless of my money. I decided to use that money for a worthy cause. I hope you're okay with it. Don't worry, I still have more than enough, so let's go to the cafeteria and grab some buns. Go away, she snarled, pushing him away. Olivia, what's the matter? He asked, concerned. Austin, you're a clueless loser who deserves a life of poverty. She glared at him fiercely, stepping back one pace at a time. Then, she abruptly turned around and stormed off. Austin sighed, feeling disappointed. He had hoped she had changed, but it appeared she had let him down once again. Oh, Olivia, he thought, a touch of sadness in his eyes. You have no idea that I'm actually a billionaire. Episode 19, Opulent Assistant Manager. The next day, after Austin finished cleaning the entire basketball court at school, he had a plan to treat Bella to some snacks at the canteen. As he was about to reach for his phone to call her, it suddenly rang, catching him by surprise. It was Zyra Thompson on the other end of the line. Hello, team leader. Is there something you need me for? Seriously, I don't need you. I just wanted to inform you to grab a flower bouquet and come to the park near the campus right away. It's not a request, it's an order, okay? Why is she angry with me? Austin wondered to himself. Regardless, why does she want me to go to the park with a flower bouquet? Lost in thought, he left the school and went to the flower shop to buy some flowers. He then headed to the park as instructed by Zira. As he walked into the park, Zira called him once more, urging him, "Austin, where are you? Hurry up!" Before he could end the call, he noticed Zira standing alone. He quickly approached her, filled with curiosity. He immediately asked, "Team leader, what is the purpose of this flower?" "Oh, you're here already? Well, listen up. I want you to date my sister. No more questions. Got it? Just give me a minute and I'll call her." With that, Zira took out her phone and dialed Amelia Thompson's number, her older sister. Zira greeted her sister over the phone, eager to know her whereabouts. "Hello, sis. Where are you now? We're already here in the park," she exclaimed. Amelia's voice sounded apologetic as she replied, "Sorry, Zira. I'm going to be late if I go there. I still have a meeting to finish. Can you just come to Cafe Memoria near the Opulent Trust Bank and wait for me there?" "Okay, sis. No problem. We'll head there right now," Zira responded, readily agreeing to Amelia's suggestion. "Thanks, Zira. By the way, how does he look? Is he handsome? It's okay if he's not rich, but please make sure he has a decent face." Zira's confident voice resonated through the phone, assuring Amelia, "Trust me, he is the one you asked for." With that, Amelia immediately ended the call when her boss arrived. "Austin, let's go somewhere else. Don't ask any questions." Full of curiosity, Austin wanted to ask where they were going but hesitated, deciding to remain silent for now. They hailed a taxi and headed to Cafe Memoria, located near the Opulent Trust Bank as her sister had informed her. As they arrived, they immediately entered the coffee shop and ordered some coffee while waiting for Amelia, her sister, to arrive. While they were sitting, Austin couldn't contain his curiosity and asked, "Why do you want me to date your sister when you know I'm just poor?" He believed she knew he was a loser, so the idea of wanting him as her sister's boyfriend didn't make any sense. "Well," she replied, "my sister has never had a boyfriend before, and as a caring sister, I want her to experience what it feels like to have a boyfriend who takes care of her." Hearing Zira's answer, Austin's curiosity was piqued, and he felt relieved. He said, "But you can't simply ask someone to be your sister's boyfriend." Zira became angry and snapped, "Listen, my sister is an assistant manager at a popular bank here in New York, and you should consider yourself lucky that I've chosen you to be your boyfriend. So stop with your nonsense talking, okay?" "But that's really unfair," Austin replied, feeling frustrated. "Are you kidding me? Have it sink in that you're just a poor loser, and having my sister as your girlfriend can change your entire life easily," Zira responded, her tone filled with arrogance and dismissiveness. A moment later, her phone rang, and it was her sister calling. She swiftly took out her phone and answered, "Hello, Zira. Are you already at Cafe Memoria? Our meeting just finished, and I'm heading there now. I'll probably be there in a few minutes," Amelia said with a hint of excitement in her voice. "Okay, sis, I'll wait for you outside the coffee shop." Amelia's excitement made Zira feel curious. She couldn't help but wonder, why would my sister choose someone like Austin when she could easily find a more suitable partner? The curiosity made her feel slightly uncomfortable, so she swiftly headed outside the shop to wait for her sister. After waiting for 5 minutes, Zira's sister finally arrived. "Oh, Zira, you should have waited for me inside instead of waiting out here," she said. Zira's curiosity got the best of her as she asked her sister Amelia without hesitation, "Hey sis, I know you could easily find a more suitable boyfriend, so why did you decide to choose someone who is financially struggling?" Amelia replied, "Well, I have a plan to make my boss David jealous. If that happens, he might ask me out on a date. I know he's interested in me. He's the manager of Opulent Trust Bank, where he handles VIP accounts and deals with millions of dollars." "Oh, so you're just using this loser," Zira retorted, her confusion apparent. Still puzzled, she pressed on, "But what's the purpose of dating someone who lacks success?" "Well, here's the idea. If I choose someone less successful than David to be my fake boyfriend, it'll show David that he can't be easily replaced. This will throw him off balance and make him realize how much he actually likes me. Hopefully, it'll speed things up between us." "Sister, you're a genius. Come on, let's go. He's already waiting inside. I'm sure he's perfect for your plan," Zira exclaimed to Amelia, her voice filled with excitement and anticipation. With that, they eagerly entered the coffee shop, ready to set their plan into motion. "Hey, Austin, my sister is already here. Get up and go greet her now!" As he heard Zira's voice, Austin quickly stood up and turned around. When he saw Zira's sister, his eyes widened in surprise. It was Amelia, the assistant manager at Opulent Trust Bank who had caused him so much trouble in the past. Amelia initially thought Austin was a loser, but her expression quickly changed as she got a better look at his face. She was so shocked to recognize him as the same guy she had tried to throw out of Opulent Trust Bank. After the incident, Zira learned from David that Austin's assets were worth over $100 million. Though David didn't give a specific figure, it was clear that Austin's wealth was substantial and growing fast. "Hello, how are you?" Amelia asked politely. Her tone softened now that she knew who he was. "Where are your manners? Hurry up and find another chair for my sister." "No need. I can get it myself," Amelia said, attempting to signal her sister with her eyes to be more polite. After that, they all sat down, and Zira was left feeling a bit confused. What's wrong with Amelia? Is Austin not good enough for her? Zira thought, feeling confused about her sister's demeanor. But this is what she asked for, so why isn't she happy? Maybe she just wants me to be nicer to Austin so it'll be easier to control him, she concluded, her mind racing with possibilities. Amelia, this is Austin. He's a student at the university and we've become very good friends. I think you two will get along. Austin didn't understand what was going on. This guy has no idea he's being used. Does he really believe my sister has any interest in him? I can't wait to see how he reacts when she dumps him. Why are you just sitting there? Don't you have anything to say? Why don't you go find a waiter? I got this. Stay here and enjoy yourself. Of course, she wasn't going to send a rich man to chase after a waiter. But just as she was about to get a waiter, Zira stopped her, unaware of the situation. Sister, please sit down. Austin is the gentleman here. She turned to him and continued. Do you think it's fair to ask one of us to leave? That's not acceptable. Do you have no shame? She scowled at him. Austin, accustomed to her attitude, ignored her and went to the counter. After speaking to the waiter, he went to the bathroom. Upon his return, Amelia was waiting for him with a smile on her face. Mr. Anderson, I apologize for Zira's behavior. It was unacceptable for her to speak to you in that manner. No worries, Zira has always spoken to me in that way, but that's nothing to me. Now you know who I am, right? I really don't understand. Why do you want to be with a poor loser while you're attractive and successful? Well, she couldn't bring herself to admit the truth to him, that she was using him to make someone else jealous. But she knew that Austin's wealth made him a much better catch than David. If she played her cards right, this might be the best chance for her to hook Austin and become seriously rich. I'm sorry for misjudging you at the bank, she said, hoping he would believe her. It made me realize that I need to be with someone more down to earth to help me understand life better. If I find someone I get along with, it could develop into something serious. I even hope to get married someday. If she could come across as sincere and humble, maybe she could win his favor.
Episode 20, Sisters Clash.
Is that so? You can trust me, I promise. I wouldn't lie to you. Since you already know I'm a billionaire, I suppose I'm not the one you're looking for. He could sense that she had an ulterior motive, so he tried to keep his distance from her. But Amelia was persistent and refused to let him slip away. Mr. Anderson, to be completely honest, there's another reason why I'm eager to find a boyfriend right now. My family is pressuring me to marry someone I don't like, and if they discover that I'm already dating someone, they'll back off. Could you please help me? Amelia didn't expect that Austin was the poor loser her sister brought along to date her. So instead of thinking about how to get David to notice her, her plan changed when she realized Austin was much richer. Seeing the hesitation on Austin's face, she managed to squeeze out a few tears, hoping to win him over with her charm and an emotional appeal. Mr. Anderson, I have no other choice, and I know you're a nice person, so please help me. Amelia appeared genuine, and her beauty coupled with her tears made Austin feel sorry for her. His heart softened, and he agreed to help. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. You can count on me. Mr. Anderson, thank you very much, but you need to make sure that no one will find out my identity. including Zira. Sure, I promise I won't tell anyone. Amelia didn't plan on telling Zira about Austin's wealth. Her sister had a history of pursuing wealthy men, and if she found out, she would try to win him over for herself. Amelia knew that she couldn't compete with Zira, who attended the same university as Austin and had an advantage over her. She didn't want any rivals for Austin's attention, not even her own sister. Amelia felt smug that her sister was spending time with a wealthy person without realizing it. Just then, they returned to their seats where Zira was waiting. You jerk. I asked you to find the waiter. What took you so long? Zira, please mind your manners, Amelia said, giving her sister a stern look before turning to Austin with a friendly smile. Please have a seat. The cakes look really good. Would you like to try one? Are you seriously serving them now? Zira couldn't help but wonder why Amelia was being so nice to Austin. She shot a mischievous smile at her, thinking that maybe Amelia was still trying to deceive him. Despite her suspicion, they all sat down to enjoy the cakes and drinks. Amelia noticed Zira's expression and began to worry. She knew her sister didn't think much of Austin and didn't want him to get too comfortable. As Zira continued to be rude to Austin, Amelia's concern grew. Her sister seemed oblivious to the fact that she was provoking someone with more wealth than she could ever imagine. Amelia knew that playing with fire like this could lead to regretful consequences. After finishing her meal, Zira wiped her mouth with a napkin and turned to Austin. So, what do you think of my sister? She asked with a smirk. A nice person, he said simply. A surge of triumph filled Amelia as she thought to herself, if Austin finds me nice, then my chances with him just got better. Idiot, my sister is gorgeous and you're lucky to be with her, Zira said with a mocking laugh. She knew her sister was only using Austin, but it didn't matter. She was just enjoying the moment and the fact that Austin didn't even realize he was being played. For sure, you've noticed that my sister is attractive. To be perfectly blunt, she's completely out of your league. You know that, don't you? She asked heartily. Zira stole a quick glance at Amelia after speaking. By boasting about her sister's superiority and emphasizing the gap between her and Austin, Zira knew she was laying the groundwork for a future exit strategy. I'm sure she'll be grateful for this, she thought with a smug smile. However, Amelia didn't feel any gratitude towards Zira. Instead, she had to resist the urge to hit her. In reality, Austin was not inferior to her. Quite the opposite. Zira's behavior was going to sabotage Amelia's plan. Even if Amelia couldn't manage to marry Austin and only remained his lover, she would still be content. Zira, stop talking nonsense, she snapped. Zira was puzzled by Amelia's glare. She thought her sister had encouraged her to tease Austin. My sister has a crush on you, Zira teased. So you better do as she says and not talk back. If she wants something from you, just do it and don't argue. Got it? She continued to demand more from him, causing Amelia to scowl in disapproval. Even though you and my sister are dating, Zira began, I expect you to treat her with respect. That means no taking advantage of her or trying anything without her consent, got it? She wanted to make sure Austin knew what was expected of him. Austin is just a poor loser who hasn't been with many women, and Zira is worried that he might not understand the boundaries of their fake relationship. She doesn't want him to make a move on her sister and potentially hurt her. Amelia's anger boiled over as she listened to Zira's inappropriate remark and realized she had abandoned the plan. The blood rushed to her head, and she struggled to keep her composure. How am I supposed to develop a relationship with him if I can't even hold his hand? Amelia thought, frustrated. She was eager to get closer to Austin, but it seemed like Zira was intentionally causing problems. That's enough, Zira. Cut it out. Amelia's tone was unpleasant. I'm not looking for a servant. I'm looking for a boyfriend. What's wrong with that? Zira didn't seem to realize that her remarks were making Amelia angry, so she continued to speak. You may be dating my sister, but she still deserves her own space and the freedom to make her own choices, Zira advised. I don't quite understand. What do you mean by that? Inquired Austin. I want to be clear, Zira said, a touch of frustration in her voice. My sister is free to see other people even though she's dating you. She can hold hands with whoever she wants, kiss them, date them, and you can't say a thing about it. Even if you two later break up, She still has the right to do whatever she wants and see whomever she wants without any objections from you. Zyra made it clear to Austin that her sister was free to pursue other men while they were dating, and that included going on a date with David. Austin needed to be prepared for the possibility that her sister might want to go out with someone else while still dating him. So, I'm in a relationship with your sister, but I'm not allowed to show any physical affection towards her, Austin asked, narrowing his eyes. Meanwhile, other men can hug and even kiss her without any consequences. And even if I witness it, I can't say anything. Exactly. You finally got my point, Zyra said with a grin. But why would your sister even agree to this? Austin asked, still trying to process the information. It doesn't seem fair to either of us. Zyra's words had been getting increasingly cruel and cutting over the past few weeks, and Amelia had finally reached her breaking point. It had started with harmless teasing, but it had quickly escalated to outright insult. Amelia had always known that Zyra had a sharp tongue, but she never thought her sister would direct it at someone she cared about. Amelia had been watching as Zyra spoke to Austin, her face growing more and more heated as Zyra continued to belittle him. Amelia couldn't believe what she was hearing. Her own sister was humiliating Austin, implying that he wasn't good enough for her. It was too much for her to handle, and her temper boiled over. In a moment of anger, she slapped Zyra's face. Every single person in the coffee shop turned to stare at them, and Amelia flushed with embarrassment. She knew she shouldn't have let her emotions get the best of her, but she couldn't stand to see someone she cared about being treated so poorly.